We're just going to get started. So, hi, hello. Today we're adventuring in the Valor and Villainy world. It's going to be fun. You need to hold on to your butts. This is going to be good stuff. With us today, we've got an all-star crew. Jasmine, that bronze girl. Hey, Jasmine.
Hi. Hello. How's it going?
Who are you playing today?
I am playing Mecha Butler. I'm playing Alfred Parts.
Ooh.
With a mechanized butler. And so I live to serve. My favorite type of protocol android.
Perfect.
Wait, no, I'm undead. For some reason, I thought I was Mecha. I am actually undead. My apologies. I just double checked.
I mean, those two things are so easily confused. You know, it happens.
I mean, technically, Mecha is not alive. So
absolutely,
that's true.
Yeah. So they all have interchangeable parts.
How dare you? They're alive. Also joining, we've got Connie. Hi, Connie.
Hey everyone, hi, Connie here, pronouns they, he, and she. Today I'm sensing a theme here, Iron E double ton. I was created as part of a fleet of golem servers at Starbees, but a freak accident with a spatula, salt shaker, 2 hard-boiled eggs, and a wand of animate objects gave me sentience. So I left Starbees to learn about where the meats really come from. And another freak accident with an egg salad, a pepper grinder, a cast iron pan, and an interdimensional rift plopped me into the depths of the Astral Sea, where I learned to herd and husband the animals there. I'm now on a personal quest to open an astral farm to table diner with fresh ingredients from the beyond.
Amazing.
Yeah, I can't stop doing this. That's awesome. Also joining, Gabe. Gabe, how do?
Hello, I am Gabe James Games, and I am playing. Oh, hold on.
I am playing Reginald Hobson, a druid and an order cadet. I am actually very fancy compared to the rest of my compatriots. I'm the larger, more chivalrous cousin of the grung, that a frog person, you see. Ribbit.
Reginald, what's wrong with your voice? Is there perhaps a frog in your throat?
What's wrong with your face? Shut up.
I'm so sorry.
Ooh. Don't say that. My face is beautiful, Ribbit. It's totally fine.
Reginald was spicy. And last but not least is Jen. Hi, Jen.
Hello. I am playing a whiz-bang Ventrillio at your service. I am a librarian full-time. However, I also enjoy tinkering with machines very much. And you see, I've made this amazing suit right here. I'm a dwarf, you see. I'm quite short, but I'm a special variant. I enjoy nomming on minerals. Yum. And I'm trying to raise some funds for my local library. You see, we need a little bit more help here.
Amazing.
Amazing. So this crew is going to take us for the next few hours on a very fun adventure led by Dan Stonk from our team here at Skybound Tabletop.
Oh, hi. How's it going? I'll be your GM today.
And with that, I am going to lurk into the background and watch this crazy adventure. So good luck. Have fun. Talk to you soon. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hi, James.
All right. Let's set the stage today. So we find ourselves in the kingdom of Hawkmoor. The great King Shapiro has recently passed. His friend and counselor, the evil wizard Mordak, has recently tried to make his vie for power, but he has failed and was defeated by the noble heroes of the Order Without Borders, do-getters of the realm. Now, Giuseppe, the kind and caring pizza baron, has decided to throw an amazing party for those heroes at his own little pizza parlor. However, because the realm has been in utter chaos, he's a little short-staffed. So he's reached out to Hawkmoor's temp agency to gather you all here. He's looking to make the finest of meals for these heroes. And he has a special request for all of you, which you get when his assistant, his sous chef, Pepito, shows up. Pepito says, "All right, you're all here. It's wonderful. Yes, you're all here. Nice. All right. So what I need you to do is we are going to be making Chef's famous Mama's Secret Surprise Seafood Bisque. You need to gather some ingredients to make this work. We have a limited amount of time before this evening where we'll be putting the dish out for the heroes. Yes, they pay for it. We have a good day and move on. Now, the first and important thing we need to do is we need to gather some seafood, which we can get from out back by the saltwater pond. But next, I need you to go into the basement and dig through the night soil trough and gather up some mushrooms, which are the surprise in the bisque. Sound good? Accomplishable?
Absolutely.
Aye.
Excellent. Chef is very stressed out about this night. He needs to make a good impression with the heroes so they come back and endorse the place and multiple people come and play in the pit of balls. Yes, sounds wonderful. All right. So, go. We don't have much time. And with that, you are dismissed to go about your business. Where would you like to get started?
Mushrooms.
Mushrooms? I was thinking of looking at the seafood.
What? Well, you can see food anywhere, so let's go get mushrooms.
Yeah.
But didn't they specify that we were supposed to go to the seafood first, out back near the saltwater pond, and then we were supposed to go into the basement to get the night soil trough to dig through the night soil trough and get the mushrooms?
That's logical.
That is perhaps the most logical course of action. Or perhaps at this early hour we could split the party?
No.
Highly inadvisable.
Yeah, listen to
All right.
listen to bones.
All right.
Is that the name? So didn't write down. I know Reginald. I know Irony. Jen, what is your character's name again?
Whizbang.
Whizbang. What about you,
You can also
Jasmine?
call me WB.
My name is Alfred Potts, and I
Okay,
live
Alfred.
to serve, or rather, unlive to serve.
Ooh.
All right. Well, you seem to know what you're talking about. You seem something of a brainiac, so fine. Seafood extravaganza first?
Excellent.
That's the best course of action, and considering we have an amphibious member of the party, maybe they can lead this endeavor.
Who?
Why, our mechanical friend here, of course. I
Ah,
believe you are a land and sea vessel, correct?
That is true. I do have propellers that come out of my shoulders. Perhaps I could use those to propel my body into the ocean, or in this case, the saltwater pond.
that's gonna be bad.
All right, awesome. So you head out the back door, and it's not very far till you see like a rickety old dock covered in algae and slime. And there is a small pond attached. Well, pond is a very generous term. It's more of a muddy puddle, really. And
A muddle, if you will.
a muddle, yes. Thank you.
However, the actual literal definition of muddle is to mash usually herbs or other leafy items to release their essences.
Mhm.
WB, you're so erudite. Who are you talking to?
Myself.
Ah.
All right, so you make it out there. Give me a perception check. Let's see if we can find some things.
They're amphibious. Well, I'm amphibious. That means I can swim underwater and breathe.
An 8. A gentleman's 8.
13.
Uh-huh.
No, I'm sorry, 15 here.
Oh,
19.
19.
6.
All right, Alfred. You're used to some dirty work. You hop down on the side of the dock, and you can see there's some slimy little barnacles. Not very many, but just enough to scoop up a little bowl through.
I shall
Oh.
endeavor to do so.
Okay, yeah. You chip at them, and barnacles usually only grow in the ocean, so these ones, while struggling to survive, have only grown yay big. But you get a nice handful of them, and hopefully that's enough to flavor a broth. and you've got some seafood. All right, halfway done. This is going to go real quick, right?
Can I squint at the barnacles to see if they are of farm fresh quality?
Oh, yes.
I squint. I narrow my mechanical golem-like eyes, and I'm going to cast Animal Friendship at will to try to talk to these barnacles to see how fresh they are, to see if they're truly raw.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Hello there.
Oh, hello.
Hi. Don't worry about who. Just answer the simple question.
Yeah.
How's your diet?
Oh, sometimes some things land in the water, and I can filter feed and just.
All right, buddy. I need you to backtrack here a little bit. Just let me know. On a scale of 1 to 10, how briny would you say your body is?
Oh, I'm pretty briny. I mean,
That's good.
That's my name actually. Is Briny.
No, I don't like to get attached in these situations. Thank you so much. All right. And I end the spell. I turn to Alfred and I say, "These are good. Good job, Alfred."
Oh, I do endeavor to please.
All right. So you found some barnacles. Amazing. And they sound like they're not half bad. What are we up to next, team?
Doubt. That was too easy.
Ooh.
Is it mushroom time, friends?
Very well could
I
be.
do believe we should head toward the basement here.
This bisque
All
isn't
right.
gonna whisk itself.
Indeed.
Risky business.
Ooh.
Every time Reginald makes a pun, I think Irony Doubleton reaches into their jacket pocket and writes something down menacingly and then puts it back in.
I wish I'd wear my open-toed sandals.
I feel like every time Reginald makes a pun, Alfred just says, "Oh yes, very droll."
Yes. Thank you, Alfred. You get it. Droll means good, right? Yes, of course it does.
Excellent.
Droll?
So you're heading back inside. You're going towards the cellar. There's a little shutter doors there. You can open them up and take the stairs down.
Droll actually means curious or unusual in a way that provides dry amusement.
How do you spell that?
DROLL.
I thought that was
Droll?
drool.
No, that's DROOL.
No, you're thinking
W.
of elves with midnight skin.
Oh no, those are drow. DROW.
I thought that was when there was no rain.
Oh no,
that's
you're
dry,
thinking of
DRY.
Oh no, you're thinking of when people make things themselves, like an indie project.
Okay, we gotta stop this.
DIY.
I was just going to let it go because that's good content.
Oh my god.
All right, so you make your way to the stairs. You open up the doors, and you're headed down. Rickety stairs all the way down. Double ton. You can hear it creaking a little bit.
So Whizbang, as you go down, Whizbang is a wheelchair user, and Whizbang has a mechanic on their chair, on her chair that allows her to extend the edges of the wheels to create a stepping process to go down the stairs.
Amazing.
Whoa.
Gotta love that. So y'all make it to the bottom of the stairs. There are tons of ingredient racks down here. You can see a root cellar wall where we've actually got some live produce coming in. And as you're making your way through, you're not seeing this trough of night soil that we've been told about. But then you hear it. A loud crash. Not far away.
Did you hear that crash? That loud crash not far away?
My amphibian ears did.
So did my golem-like ears.
All right, what do you do?
I swivel my head, trying to locate the source of the noise, where it's coming from.
Yeah. So give me a perception roll on that.
Oh boy, I'm not very good at that.
I would like to convert my chair into my suit as we prepare because there was a loud crash and we're in a basement, and I must protect the books I have with me to read, and I want to make sure they're safe. So therefore, I'm going to switch into my armor.
Oh yeah. What's that sound like?
There's a lot of.
I
Well,
love
hey,
it.
I'm trying to hear the source of the noise. Can you quiet down there? I got an 18.
I pushed the silence button on it.
It's odd.
It's very quiet.
The sound is usually for emphasis.
Iron, you definitely just like zero in on the source. It's coming from behind this shelf over here. You can see through some mason jars with pickled all kinds of ingredients that there is some movement going on over there. And there's a faint purple glow.
Bah! And I cast Scorching Ray at it.
Yes.
Okay. So I think I have to make like several separate attack rolls for that.
Mhm.
Here's hoping it goes well. Okay, the first one is a 16 plus 7. Does that hit?
Yeah, that definitely hits the shelf right in front of you, and it just goes up in flames. The glass just starts popping as the heat just fractures everything.
Okay. Does it reveal anything behind it? Should I roll damage for that? Or
Yes. No, you don't need to roll damage on that. What you're going to see, though, is you're going to see a tipped over trough and a lot of duty on the floor. That night soil is scattered. But there is nary a mushroom.
I'm a child.
oh no! I think the rays came out of my eyes, like Superman style. So now they're just they're like fizzling a little, like smoke's trailing out of my sockets. As I still have like 2 Scorching Rays I haven't cast yet. The mushrooms, they've been purloined.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah.
does that mean?
And I turn.
It's a verb that means to seal.
Yes, what WB said.
Mm-hmm. And you turn, and you see a large purple swirling disc against the opposite wall. It's set into it. It almost looks as if it was built into the wall, but there's a lot of racks around it, and you see, just at the last second, a large shape covered in mushrooms slinking through.
Can I try to use like the 2 remaining Scorching Rays I haven't rolled for to try to hit this?
Yeah,
hit this fella?
yeah, let's see it.
Okay, I'll roll them both at the same time. That not rolled properly. That is a 2. Probably not going to hit. That is a 13 plus 7, 20.
Excellent. Yeah, that is gonna hit. So you see a long tail, like little bits of mushrooms coming off of it, and you hit it with your eye rays. Now tell me about that damage.
Okay, that is going to be 5. Yes, 5 points of fire damage. So what it's going to look like, I think, are the mushrooms flammable?
Yes.
Like a Superman, I think my 2 eye beams, one goes haywire, bing, and just like bounces against like a rack, and it explodes, and the other one hits it right on the tail. Like the tops of the mushroom caps begin to catch on fire.
Oh yes, they definitely do. And you hear a loud just as this thing pulls as fast as it can into the portal.
Oh.
What do you do?
Nope.
Come,
Reginald.
Sam, the game's afoot! And I leap through the portal.
Wait,
Excellent.
You said you grab who?
My rapier.
Oh, okay.
Alfred, wait! You can't die again! And I run after you, but I also grab onto Reginald's slimy wrist. Come on now, you coward!
You shot it, and it went, and then it went in a portal, and I'm the coward.
But we need the mushrooms.
Exactly,
task.
WB.
Also, I'm curious what's on the other side. So,
Okay.
let's go.
All right. So one by one, you make your way through this glowing purple disc. And It feels as if your flesh is stripped, or some parts, bolts are stripped free and reassembled on the other side. You find yourself in a large tunnel. Bricks and cobblestones line the floor, walls, and low ceiling, and a faint purple light colors the entire area. Behind you, there is no portal. You find yourself facing only a stone wall. What do you do?
Well, that's a bit troublesome.
You could
I'm
say
very
that
good
again.
with stone. Can I recognize anything about this using stone cutting or any of my knowledge? Is this a snack?
You could definitely eat some of this. It does look like low-grade rock, though. I mean,
No, that's
you might not get too much out of it. That's like eating, some junk food every once in a while.
You deserve better than bottom shelf.
Mm-hmm. But while you're looking around, you do
Of course
notice,
it is.
you do notice there are some tracks heading off down the tunnel. It appears whatever that thing was left some poopy footprints running forward.
Well, I suppose we should continue following that track.
Ooh. All right. So as you're walking, the tunnel starts going in different directions. It starts going left, and it starts going right, and bend after bend, this straight line just continues to go on and on. You've been walking for nearly an hour as the tunnel starts to coil in on itself, almost impossibly so. You find yourself at an intersection. You can turn left or you can turn right. Which do you do?
As we're paused here, is the purple light still all around us?
Yes, it's very much just ambient light throughout the whole tunnel.
I take out a big spatula that's also tucked in my jacket pocket, the same one with my ledger that I've been writing Reginald notes in, and I cast light on it. Ding! The spatula glows as I bring it up to where the purple wisps are, and I try to figure out, does the purple light thrum with magic? How is it reacting to this other light, etc.?
Yeah, it's just kind of there. It's just ambiently lighting the room. It doesn't really react to yours. Yours overtakes it, actually, as it goes over. But as you pull your spatula side to side, it just replaces the gap that you created with your light.
Interesting. There's no matter to it. It's not like a gas. It's just like a light, like an energy.
It's just like an energy.
Okay.
Fascinating. WB, you're a scholar, aren't you?
I don't know if I would call myself a scholar, but I certainly enjoy books and reading and information and knowledge.
So, still not a scholar?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Well, I think you should stop discounting yourself. But that aside, is this purple light ringing a bell? Have you heard of purple lights in your studies?
Have I?
You mean you've heard of portals before, and portals will take you all over. The big portal that was used by the evil wizard Mordak led to a place known as the World of Uncaring and Eternal Darkness.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
What's the oh no for, WB?
Well, you see, there was a terrible time back when Mordak was around doing things recently that led to a place called the World of... I'm sorry, what was it?
Eternal and Uncaring Darkness.
World of Eternal and Uncaring Darkness.
I see. Could
This
that
could
be where we're...
because there's purple light, so it's not completely dark.
This doesn't bode well. The tunnel seems to be curling in on itself. What should we do? Any ideas, Reginald?
Touch it.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk up and touch it.
Just the tunnel itself, or the light, or
The light's to try to touch the light. Like basically, if there's a beam where I could put my hand into, put it in there.
Yeah, it's just kind of ambiently everywhere. So when you just reach up to touch it, yeah, your hand just passes through it like normal.
And there's no heat coming from the light.
No.
There's no heat coming from the light, and that's weird to me.
That is weird. But try touching the wall. This low-grade stone wall.
I lick the wall.
Yeah, you lick the wall. And it doesn't taste very good. There is some dust and a little bit of lichen scattered throughout, but overall, you've licked plenty of walls in your day, and it's just a common wall.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Alice Algae and Freddy Fungus got together and they took a liking to each other.
I take out the book and I write something darkly. And then I turn to Alfred.
Alfred, you've been alive and dead and then back alive again. Do you think we're in danger of that?
Oh, no, I don't believe there's any cause for concern. I mean, even if you were to all die, it's not so bad. Living off of the flesh of those you kill is rather fulfilling line of work.
Okay.
Are you like a zombie or are you like put together like Frankenstein?
I'm a Frankenfiend.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Yeah, I like your stitches and like the pale, gross flesh on your body.
Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna try to take some action.
Is the tunnel curling in on itself like a spiral? Like,
a little bit.
So that means if I punch through this wall, I can try to like break open like and get to the center without having to walk in the circle.
It's almost like a shell.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fascinating. I'm gonna try to do that by casting Thunder Wave. Yeah,
excellent.
First level spell. Why not? So I believe that is a saving throw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you cast that. What's that look like when you do it?
I go, all right, everyone, stand back.
And my body begins to vibrate very quickly, and you hear a vum, 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 like a Tesla coil starting up. And the ground begins to shake. Loose pebbles are jolted down from the ceiling, and they like bounce on the ground near my feet as I. Just this wave of thunderous force just sweeps out from underneath my clay feet, and it bam, 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 bam smacks into the walls on all sides of me.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, that immediately just pops that wall open, and it just is destroyed, and you find yourself in a much larger chamber. There is a small pool in the middle, and floating within it is a mushroom.
Oh, ow! Quickly, let's grab this.
Oh.
All right. So you do that. You go over, you walk to the small pool. Who's scooping it up?
Do I have anything?
Everyone's so ready to do it. That's just a mushroom in the pool.
I do it.
Yes. All right. Reginald, you pick that up, and you can see that there is a little bit of footprints heading out of this pool. And there are 3 passageways ahead. And it seems to have been circling around for a little bit. And then it's gone.
Wait, what happened? I'm so sorry.
Reginald went and picked up the mushroom out of the pool and noticed that there were some poopy footprints making their way out of the pool. Out of the pool.
Out of the pool. Oh, goodness. The pool.
But then it appears they were scuffed off in front of 3 potential passageways.
You know what? I have an idea.
Hmm?
That's excellent. What is it?
Little mushroom. Little mushroom. And I'm going to cast Speak with Plants on the mushroom.
Yeah.
Little mushroom. What secrets have you seen? Tell me.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, it's been so nice. Well, secrets. Well, see, there's that big tunnel over there.
That one, yes.
Yeah. My friend went down that tunnel.
Was it also a mushroom?
Oh, it's partially a mushroom. See, it has mushrooms on it. It's all part of us, really. It's hard to say that we're different, but it is the same. You know, it's kind of like we're connected.
Oh.
Yeah, like I can talk to it and it can talk to me.
That's scary, but that makes sense.
Yeah. So we're over there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to go with me? You want to come with me in my pocket?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Whew, put them in my pocket.
Whoop.
So the little mushroom told me
Mhm.
that their friend went down that hallway and it's all connected, like a weird existential thing. But hey, I'm not here to judge.
Oh,
Like
I
a-
feel like some type of hive mind.
Oh, like some type of hive mind?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Have I heard of any creature like that? Maybe during my wanderings in the astral sea.
I mean, you might have heard of myconids, who share a similar mindset, and funguses in general share a brain system, like a little bit like the internet, and they transfer their conscious between things. The mushrooms are really just the fruiting bodies.
Interesting. Okay,
Mhm.
and this creature that left, did we catch a glimpse of it beyond a tail and a mushroom-covered body?
You saw like a rough haunch of a leg.
Haunch. That sounds yummy.
Hmm.
No.
Oh, what? Sorry, I just learned how to drool.
All right. So what are we doing? We following that thing?
I suppose that's the plan. Unless you can ask your friend to have their friend come back to here.
Can you talk to your mushroom-y friend?
Uh-huh.
Oh. Why would we want them to come back here?
So we can get the drop on them. Instead of us going to them, they gotta come to us. Play hard to get.
But they're connected.
Oh, shoot. Can you ask your friend not to show their friend us? So we still get the drop on him?
You want me to ask them to trick their friend for strangers they just met?
Well, we can, give them a little something in return.
What? They're a mushroom. They don't want
maybe-
much.
Hey, they want good soil, perhaps, and perhaps to be spared from tonight's dinner.
I'm not threatening the mushroom.
We do plan to eat them. That is
Yeah.
part of the.
I'm not going to tell them that.
Okay, fine.
Wait.
Guess
can
there's no
they
honor amongst thieves.
understand us? Can it understand what I'm saying now about eating it?
Let me tell you. It imbues them with limited sentience and the ability.
Dan's face.
You know what? If the plant creature's in the air, you can communicate with it as if it shared a common language. I'm not going to give you the answer to that.
But it's just you, not it's a self-cast, not a group cast, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just very weird on the wording.
Yeah. Let's say it can understand you, Reginald.
Okay.
So the things that you've been saying.
Whoop.
Oh no.
This is my new mushroom friend. I am not going to make them betray their old friend.
Oh,
Okay, fine.
Thanks.
Yeah, buddy, I got you.
Oh, great.
Your friend's not going to try to kill us, right?
Maybe.
Well, can you tell us? Can you have your friend tell us a little bit about their friend so we can kind of be prepared for if their friend tries to kill us?
Can you tell us about the person, your friend? Yeah.
Yeah. They're rodentia fungi. Yeah.
Rodentia?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rodentia fungi.
Uh-huh.
They're a fungi or are they a fun guy? Is it like a
Oh,
play
you
on
know.
words? Oh. No, I don't.
As in rodentia, as in rodents, as in
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's a mushroom rat.
Yeah.
a mice room,
A rat room?
mouse room.
I'm not saying
Not
all this
mouse
time.
room. Yes, mouse room.
It's a mouse room.
Mouse room.
I laugh along and then I write name in the book.
All right, Reginald. Lead us toward this mouse mushroom.
Okay. Which way are we going, buddy?
That way.
Okay.
And it gestures towards a very large door.
I put it on my head.
You do that. It sits there. It's happy about this view. Yeah. So you make your way into this large hallway, and there is a soft sound of piping that's coming from off in the distance. What would you like to do?
What do you mean by piping?
Like,
Oh, like a windpipe. Okay. Huh. Let's see. Okay. I am going to turn to my party and say,
Wait here. I'll have someone scout ahead.
and I begin to vibrate like I'm casting a thunder wave again, but my body begins to heat up. Steam rises from my clay and metal form, and then two balls of fire swirl into existence in front of me. Ooh. And they both like elongate. They both get really big, and like these like horns of molten lava come out of their head as I cast Elemental Blaze to summon two elemental bulls. They will appear within 10 feet of me to do my bidding. They can't speak, but they can understand me and will attempt to follow my orders for as long as the spell lasts, which is concentration up to 1 hour.
Horns and heels. Scout ahead, horns, and report back what you see. Heels, stay here.
And it goes off into the distance. And after a little bit, maybe 5 minutes, the Horns is going to come back and just and like paw at the ground.
What's wrong, boy? What'd you see? Try to communicate it to me through interpretive dance if you can.
Yeah. So it's gonna rear up on his back hooves and.
All right. I see. Fascinating.
And then it's gonna get on all fours and turn around and come back. And
I nod.
I throw.
Turn to my party.
Bravo.
Yes, I clap as well. While we're clapping, I say
down.
I have no idea what that meant. Anyone?
No.
Not a clue.
All right. Well, Horns, you don't look fundamentally changed or wounded, so I'm going to assume it was okay.
There's a rough nod.
All right, folks, how do we feel about charging in? Guns and spatulas blazing.
I am amenable to the idea.
I think it sounds like a great idea.
Sure. It'll be fun.
Excellent. All right. So we're going in hard, fast.
Yes.
Excellent.
heck yeah.
So you're round a couple corners. You're moving a decent clip. And all of a sudden, you find yourself in front of a very large, ornate doorway. And positioned off onto the side of that doorway is a huge pile of sand that has been formed into a decently large castle/living accommodation. Sitting on the deck thereof is an elderly man who is playing on a pipe made of sand, just kind of to himself. And then he notices you. Oh! Hello! Hi!
Hi.
How are you?
Hi.
Hi.
Hungry.
Hello. Hi. Yes. Wonderful. Hello. Welcome.
Thanks.
Where's the rat? Do you serve the rat?
No, I saw it though. It went that way through the door. Don't go through the door.
May I make an insight to this person's comments?
Yeah.
Natural one.
Okay, yeah, they're definitely the mastermind behind this whole situation. As far as you're concerned, they're in charge of the round.
You want us to go through that door.
Oh, no, please don't go through the door. Well, actually, yes, go through the door. I'd like that because, you see, here's the thing. I am the innkeeper, and I guard this door. You see, I was in a predicament over some property disputes and directions, and a certain witch has cursed this door. So I can't get through, and nobody else can get through unless they solve the riddle of the door and follow its rule. Then they can get through.
Oh.
But I can't tell you about that riddle. I can just tell you that you can't get through unless you follow it. But I can show you things that can.
So, but if you fail it, can you not get through the door?
Oh, no. Terrible things happen to you. Watch. He turns around and grabs a bag, and he dumps it out, and a whole goat falls out. And he's like, oh, here we
Sir,
go.
you lost your goat there.
Oh, no, I got it. Here, watch this. And he goes and chucks the goat at the doorway, and right when it hits the threshold of the doorway, it just turns to a pile of sand and falls down.
Oh.
What a horrible waste.
Well, it's just real estate.
Mutton.
Yes, Alfred, it is a horrible waste of mutton. So if you're the innkeep, what are you doing down here? There's a dinner party that's getting hosted up there.
Oh, no. That's innkeeper. I keep guard over people who go in.
Oh, okay. So we're playing this game, huh?
And Irony pulls out the book yet again, but writes violently inside. Puts it back in.
Is there an outkeeper as well on the other side?
Oh, no, I hope not. Well, if there was, why didn't they ever talk to me?
Well, shouldn't you be the outkeeper because you keep people out?
Oh, no, but I tell people about going in.
Yeah, but you told us not to go in.
Oh, that's true. But if you do go in, and you can do it right, that might lift the curse for me. Huh?
You're cursed?
Oh.
Yeah, I have to stay here and guard this thing and tell people not about it, but about, what can and can't, but not really tell them everything. It's a very complicated, legally written spell.
You
I
see
see.
not, but say little.
Uh-huh.
So really, what you kind of need us to do here is really you want us to figure out how this all will work for you.
Uh-huh. That'd be great.
What can actually go in there? Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So what's the riddle? Let's hear it.
Oh, no, it's more of just a rule. So watch. And he walks over and reaches into the bag and pulls out a beehive. And it's swarming. And he goes, and chucks it at the door.
What?
And it goes right through just fine. And it lands on the other side, and you just hear, and he's like, see?
Interesting.
No, here. One more thing. He goes over and tips over a barrel and pulls the lid off, and a whole grip of sheep just start pouring out of this barrel and just rushing blindly at the doorway. And they all make it through.
So what's gone through so far?
Bees.
Bees, sheep.
Bees in a beehive, sheep coming out of a barrel, but a goat taken out of a satchel going through did not make it.
Was the goat the biggest?
Sheep, volume-wise, are a little bigger because
Okay.
Oh, maybe we'll have to go through together.
This was my thought process as well. People that think
All at once, not by themselves.
And he immediately reaches into that pouch at his side and pulls out by the neck a very loud honking goose and chucks that through. and it goes alone through the door just fine. And you hear "Hi, hi," as the bees start to swarm the goose.
Did you tell us the name of this particular door?
Oh, no, I don't know if it has a name. Do you know?
Well, no, that's why I was asking you.
Oh,
I've
just
never
call
been
it
here
the
before.
door.
Ah,
Sand door. Door of sand.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, sand door.
Yeah.
Huh.
All right. Horns, charge through.
Yeah. So Horns, the astral bull, just rears up, lowers its head, and just goes and through. And then you hear as the goose just quickly tries to get out of the way.
But it doesn't turn to sand.
Does not turn to sand.
Okay.
So we have to be animals.
But the goat.
I might be able to help there. He turns around and checks himself, and then he's like, and pulls out a very nice book and walks over and says, and throws the book through, and you can hear it and see it clatter to the other side. The goose walks over and begins to peck at it.
Innkeep, can you throw something through that will turn to sand? Pretty please?
Yes. And he goes and pulls his shoe off and throws it through, and it turns to sand immediately.
I know what it is. I know what it is.
What is it, WB?
It has to have two with the same letter in it. So bee has 2 E's. Sheep has 2 E's. Goose has 2 O's. Book has 2 O's.
Oh,
It's pairs.
so how could you get through?
My name is Irony Doubleton. That's a double in my name.
My last name is Ventrilio.
I mean, you could risk it if you didn't want to just see what happened. But let's see!
I'm sick of this. Let's go.
An Irony Doubleton is gonna walk through.
Oh! And right before you hit the threshold, the innkeeper says, "Oh, you're nothing but a fool!" And you walk through just fine.
Oh, yes. There you go. Thanks for that.
I did it. I made it all the way through.
You did.
Huh? And then the man just looks down as like little bits of light start shooting from his fingertips. And he lifts into the air and he's like, it's happening! Finally! Thank you! And then he crumbles to dust in front of you.
Oh God.
Well, he's now free.
Disturbing interaction.
Come on through, friends. It's totally fine. I bet this whole thing was just a hoax.
Did you just kill him?
Come again?
I think you just killed him.
What? No, that doesn't. Did I? Oh, gods. I've slaughtered plenty of farm animals out in the astral sea. I've broken apart dreadnought claws to get the nice tender flesh from inside. I've made Gith blood pudding, but I've never directly killed anyone before.
I think it's best to just not think about it.
Well, it was what he wanted, right? He was asking for us to solve it.
Yeah, you're right, Alfred. You're right, WB. So you stop it, Reginald.
Asking you a question?
Yes, it's unraveling my inner philosophy.
That's your problem.
Questions are essential. But I think in this case, perhaps we were doing the thing that we were asked to do by the person who wanted us to do it. So
yes, what she said.
Yeah.
It seems like there was some freedom in that.
Very likely he didn't know what he was asking.
What I do know is that I'm one cool guy, and I step through.
Oh, just as smooth as butter. You walk through to the other side, and there is a beehive on the floor and a goose that is very anxiously running away from bees.
Well, you know, people like to say that I'm a geek, so.
And I stroll through.
Yep. And perfectly fine.
Reginald, you're quite the looker.
Why are we saying words? I don't know what's happening. Are we supposed to say something before we walk through?
If you'd like.
Irony didn't.
Irony didn't, but the innkeeper did about irony.
I will walk through.
All right. You do that. And you make it through just fine.
I don't understand.
Hmm.
Can I find a rock?
Yeah.
Can I throw it at the door?
Yeah.
Does it go through?
Yeah, it goes back out.
Interesting.
Look, don't take it for granted.
It's not taking it for granted. I just don't think we solved it.
No, granite as in the stone.
Oh my god.
That one definitely goes into the notebook, Irony.
Yes, I'm not even gonna take it out at this point. You guys are just. Anyway,
That's ready.
settle down now, geese and bees.
I'm gonna cast animal friendship as we like wade through all these animals. Settle down. Let's all just take a deep breath.
They all
Calm
just
ourselves.
like, hey.
Good.
Relate
Yes,
to that.
that's right. Why don't you go back to your hive and we can get to the bottom of this mushroom mystery?
Yeah, the bees fly back into the hive. The geese goes and like nestles on top of it and just kind of coils its neck on itself.
Aw, that's so cute.
Enjoy your nap.
All right. Good job. You made it through the door. Amazing. All right. So next, it looks like the tunnel just keeps winding forward up ahead. But there is something definitely different about this.
How does it smell in here?
Oh, foul.
Like FOWL, like a bird?
Well, only because the goose is there.
That
Yeah.
Foul. Fair is foul.
Hover through the fog and filthy air.
Yeah. Hey, it was a little bit of a
Later
reversal,
school.
but I'm going with it. Woo!
I love it. Yeah. So
Like you said, I like to read.
up ahead, you notice that things are a little different. Particularly that light you investigated before. It's now thrumming with a pulse. It just gets brighter and then dim, brighter than dim, brighter than dim, brighter than dim. And as you continue forward,
I think I flip on some lights on my suit and I start doing a little bit of a rave dance.
Oh yeah, keep it going, WB.
Oh, give me a performance roll. How good is that?
Probably not very. Yeah, we'll find out. Not very. But oh no, I don't. That's only intelligence, and those are. It's not very good. It's a 7.
Well, you tried, and you enjoyed
I'm
doing
in a
it
very
while you
large
did it.
mech suit. It's not particularly dexterous, though the lights are very, very shiny.
Nice. All right. So yeah, you start to notice a throbbing as well, like a steady rhythm of that's accompanying this beat of lights.
Unexpected.
Yeah.
It is unexpected.
And as you round the corner, just ahead, where the light is brightest, you come upon a scene of 4 horned figures with purple skin pumping iron, just steadily to the beat. And then one is spotting the other on the bench press. He's like, yeah, come on, bro. Come on, let's do it. Yeah.
How much is he benching? How much is he benching?
Oh, too much. At least 500 pounds. He's just
wow.
like, oh, yeah. And the spotter's like, yeah, bro. Yeah. And then he's like, shut it down. Give me 2 more. And he goes, and he's doing it. And he is flexing them pecs and he is gaining them gains. And pretty soon, he sets it down. His buddy tosses him a towel. And he starts to towel off. And he's like, yeah, it was good, bro. I really like that. You were really amassing some mass right there. I loved it. All right. We got squats next. Who's up for squats? And then the 2 of the other creatures that were in the corner doing some squats of their own start making their way over to the bench press. And that's when, they notice you. They turn around.
Hey.
Whoa, what's going on here? And then one of them smacks the wall, and the lights just go steady, and the music stops.
Why you gotta end the party, guys?
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Who are you?
Oh, wait, we're the Muscle Boys.
I'm
Come
you.
on. What?
I'm you.
You're me?
No, I'm you.
Oh. I'm confused, friend.
No, but I thought you were the Muscle Boys.
Yeah!
So how are you confused?
What? I don't get this guy. He's hilarious, though. Bro, how much do you bench? Come on, man. Let me see the months. Come on. Yeah, what you got? You got like 150 on that thing?
I think Reginald isn't muscular, but he is toned for a frog man. So there's like there's like a little bump. He's like, oh, I'm basically a walking bear. Like, it's wild.
Oh man, I don't know. Look at those little things. Those little lily pads on there. All right. Here, you mind if I touch them?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. All right. He walks up and he's just like, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, what are your supplements? What are you taking right now? Huh?
Yeah.
You got protein gains? What you got here?
16 crickets a day, 12 lily pads because they're good for protein.
Lily pads?
The occasional squirrel when I catch them underwater.
Well, fair enough. That's some good stuff. But, if you really want to go to the next level, you really got to, like, pack that stuff in. You ever done powdered supplements? I mean, it's really good. Actually, wait a minute. Why are you guys here? You come here to train?
We're just passing through. We're trying to find a rat mushroom mouse.
Oh, yeah.
Anything like that?
Yeah, I saw that thing go through here a while ago. It was in the middle of doing my squat thrust, so I couldn't deal with it. But, yeah, it just scuttered by. We try to eat vegan, so we tried to catch it a while ago when we saw a few more of them. But, it's kind of hard to deal with.
Okay. Well, we'd really appreciate it if you just point us in the way, and we'll get out of your.
Do they have hair?
Oh, yeah, they got a little bit of hair on top.
It's a valid question.
Get out of your hair? Question mark?
Yeah. But first, bro, not to be insulting, but looking at this crew, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff out there.
Do they have dumbbells?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to walk over to the dumbbells. I'm going to wild shape into an ape.
Ooh.
And start benching them.
All right. Are you trying to, like, show off them?
100%.
Yeah, give me a performance roll on that. Not even going to make you do strength. I just want to see perfect form.
That's fine. That's a 19.
19? My goodness. Yeah, so you're doing that, and it's just like boom, 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 right? And then just like, oh, I love this. Look at this. Now that's not a frog. That's a toned ape. And you're lifting iron like nobody's business. My gosh. They call you the forklift because that is quite the load. My goodness.
They do now.
Oh, wow. All right. That's great.
I'm gonna walk over. I can lift up to 720 pounds in my mech suit.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna like very casually pick up whatever the heaviest thing is nearby and just
You really shouldn't leave this in the walkway and just casually like, oh, did you need a spot with that?
Oh my gosh. Bros, what are you doing here? You need to train us. Please, bros. They all get down on their hands and knees and they're just begging you. Please, just stay for a little bit. Train us, just a little bit.
Well, I mean, I suppose.
Well, we don't have time. The dinner party. Alfred, you've been a servant before. Talk to these servants, these manservants. Servant to servant.
Oh, right. Well, you see, we've got other responsibilities to attend to, and as I'm sure you know, the most important training is that we can do is in the carrying of a tray of food to its rightful recipient.
Carrying a tray of food to the rightful. They're looking around at each other and like, okay, all right, all right, we'll try it. So
the sedentary lifestyle is truly the biggest enemy of the fitness enthusiast.
Also, I could recommend a number of excellent books that have some wonderful training regimens and some great meal plans, including vegan meal plans. So perhaps we can recommend those things, but I can give you that list a bit later or now. But it's
one of them has already pulled out like a little book and is ready to write down notes.
Okay, so you're looking for a book by Strumfina. Strumfina wrote an amazing book on the best gains and lifts. Now, those are spelled incorrectly. They have a Z on the end.
Lift. Oh, that's perfect. I love it. Yeah, we do the same thing. What is that Strumfina?
On Strumpina, Strumfina. You're also going to be looking for building muscle the real way without magic. It's kind of a condescending title, but it's a solid plan. Magic here and there, if that's what you're into, is great. But if you're not, that's fine too. And I'm all for whatever kind of accommodations you need in terms of your regimen. Do what's right for you and your body, and take your time. Make sure your form is good. Do your own process to build your body in a healthy way and keep yourself healthy.
Bro. You've been lifting that jaw a lot. You're just talking at me. You're saying so many words there. I got lost a little bit, but I got a lot here. Thank you.
You're welcome. By the way, please support your local public libraries.
Yeah. We rip phone books in half all the time.
No, that's not supporting them.
No? Oh, no. What? We need to pick them up or something?
No, go to your library and avail yourself of the services there. There's lots of information. They might be able to point you toward more books. But you also need to make sure you return those books. Otherwise, they might have to send the bounty hunting team out after you to get the books back.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Once we find one of these libraries, we're gonna go there.
I can give you the addresses of several.
Oh yeah. So you do that, and after a little bit more poking and prodding for fitness tips, and the muscle boys are ready to let you go. And they've turned over a couple of the weights and started loading food on them and walking them back and forth across the room, per the service tip. All right.
Hey.
Onward and upwards.
Great meeting you.
Oh yeah, bro. Thanks so much for this. It's gonna be great.
On our way out, I just sort of I'm walking backwards and I go, farmer's walks, snatches, power cleans, elven deadlifts.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna try that.
Presses.
You said a bunch of words.
Not gonna lie, when WB was going on their spiel, I may or may not have peeked at a couple of the books she keeps on her person at all times to learn those deeds. I don't actually know what they mean, but they make me sound smart.
It's true.
Makes sense.
Excellent. All right. Wonderful.
We don't make sense.
That's okay.
You need sense.
Yeah, you keep going down this hallway, as sadly there is only one direction to go right now. And you're greeted by yet another sound off in the distance. This is the sound of small thunder. Just roaring.
Does it sound like a person, or does it sound like a audio phenomenon, or like a natural thing?
It sounds like, give me a perception roll on that.
Oh boy, I'm so bad at these. That's only a 9.
Okay. It sounds like a little bit of, maybe there's a crowd ahead.
Interesting.
Maybe a ways off, there's a crowd.
All right, friends, same tactic as before, just rush in blindly?
Or?
I suppose we can go rush in if you really want to. Trying to think if there's other solutions that we could take. Perhaps.
To be fair, everyone down here has been a little eccentric, but no one's been mean or violent.
That's true. Everyone's been lovely.
Probably just new friends. The main thing, though, is hunting down those mushroom rats. We just gotta... They're leaving us in the dust here. Onward.
Excellent.
What do we do when we find them?
Ooh.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there, Reginald.
That's how people die.
A good thing you can swim, because bridges go over water, right? And you're a frog person, so you can swim?
Right in your book.
Okay.
That was a terrible one. Right in your book.
I take it out and I mutter,
Okay, punishment for myself as well.
Oh,
I'll put
that's
it back
two.
in.
That's two there.
What, 2?
For punishment.
That was unintentional.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I scribble it down and I put it back in my breast pocket.
Okay. So the thought is we're rushing in again?
I think so.
Yes.
Right, yeah. So you round this corner and the sound just grows and it amplifies until you're met with a from 1,000 voices.
That's a lot of voices.
You turn one last corner, and there, laid in front of you for 20 feet, is a very large and long platform. It's about 3 inches off the ground and has a whole slew of different things along the length of it. But more interestingly, along the sides of this tunnel, built into the walls for the length of this 20 feet, are homes, buildings, little castles, lights flickering in the windows, and as it trickles down towards the floor, you can see people just flooding from it to gather around this raised platform. And in front of you is the largest crowd, just shouting and cheering. And then you hear one shriek, "The Titans!" And everyone goes silent as thousands of tiny faces of these 9-inch tall people turn to regard you. And then all is one, they say. The Titans come. And the crowd begins to part. A lone figure hobbles forward. He has with him a young girl, and they're flanked by 4 men. They make their way forward through the crowd to the front to a small dais. The elder looks at you all, taking you each in one at a time, and points up to the right, where you look, and there is a portrait of all 4 of you, immaculately rendered.
Oh, wow, that's wow, quite a rendering there. Rendering a depiction.
I even
of
got my book and Reginald's constantly scurvious disposition.
Indeed. Oh my.
You work very quickly. You were able to put that together rather snappily. I have to admire it. To admire the gumption.
The elder begins signing, and the young girl near him looks over, nods. The elder wishes you to know that the Titans have returned as they were prophesied. And the crowd erupts in cheers and shouts. You are here as was foretold, because our queen is dead. And you will run the gauntlet. And then the whole crowd shouts, the gauntlet, the gauntlet, yeah, the gauntlet! And
I mean, the gauntlet sounds like fun, perhaps.
What is the gauntlet?
The elder raises his hand and continues to sign as the child continues to interpret. We have a very strict system of government here, as the Titans know. We elect our heirs to the monarchy, but they must first complete the gauntlet in order to vote in our electoral system. As the Titans have returned, they will sponsor the 4 candidates in this gauntlet running, as was foretold. And everyone in the crowd shouts, as was foretold. And each of the 4 men flanking the elder step forward and point a finger at each of you.
So you insist on certain testing thresholds before you allow people to have full participation in your democracy?
Well, and she looks at the elder, and the elder starts signing again. And she says, "The elder wishes to inform you that even though we are a constitutional monarchy, there is still an electoral system in place. And we do not appreciate other members structuring and criticizing our society."
I'm just trying to understand where you're coming from here. So,
yes.
Also, I'm curious why they have a child employed as an interpreter instead of a professional.
Well, I am a professional.
As a
That's
child?
fair.
Yeah. This is my grandpa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair. So would you like... Can you tell us a little bit about the gauntlet? We're not citizens here, so...
Yes. But the prophecy points, and you actually can see it a little bit better this time. There are 4 small silhouettes standing before each of you on this painting.
Oh, our champions or something, right?
Yeah, you are champions of the candidates. And points to the 4 people behind.
So we don't design the tests, but we run in them?
Correct. Everyone has to run this when they want to be the leader.
Okay, so what's the test?
Well, there's 4 of them, and whoever makes it to the end gets to cast a vote on who they think will be the next leader. The person who wins by getting done first gets to cast 2 votes.
So rather than basing it on their policy stances, we are...
on
the capability of an individual to accomplish a task in a set amount of time.
Yeah.
Well, that's not so different from college entrance examinations.
What's that?
It's something that we have on our material plane.
Ooh.
You know what? Let's do it. I have a feeling, just like with the gym guys, we have to humor them a little before we get more information about where that mushroom rat went.
Fair.
Excellent. Well, you can all line up. Would you like to meet your candidates who are sponsoring you?
Yes, please.
Sure.
Oh, excellent. Okay. So this is Vander, and he will be sponsoring you. He points at you, Iron. Hello. How's
Hi,
it going?
Vander.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Yeah.
You've got a very handsome voice.
Oh, thank you. Yes. So basically, here's the deal. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to raise taxes here on this general public, and then what we're going to do is we're going to fund my Golden Casino Riverboat. Yeah, sounds good, right? We're going to go up and down the tunnel. We're going to make a lot of money. A lot of people are going to be real happy about that. I made a lot of promises.
Vander. It's good to meet you.
It's great to meet you.
Who are the other contenders?
The next person steps forward and says, "Hello, my name is Evander, and you will be my sponsor." He points at Reginald. See, the thing is, I got this idea going around in my head, right? I just want to open up this conversation with the, diplomatic council of elders. Children these days, what are they doing? They're just sitting around, occasionally doing interpretation work for their grandfathers. But you know what I think? I think, that one over there I talked about earlier. I think kids should really build some more character. And I think they should do that by joining the workforce. So what I'm proposing is children join the workforce. And, we've got so many factories that have these little itty bitty machines.
I walk up to this person.
Yes. Hi.
Hi.
Reginald?
Don't worry about it. It's fine. Question.
Yeah.
What is your position in this? Of this?
Oh, see, I'm one of the sons of the former queen, and as such, it could potentially be my right, depending on how well I do in this election, to rule the group. You know, I would have a lot of say with the Council of Elders, but, you know, it just really depends on, like, if I get the job.
So, but in your perspective, you would have a council of children rather than council of elders.
Oh, no. We wouldn't give them any authority. Not at all. Not the children.
Just child labor.
Just child labor.
Oh,
Yeah.
when you put it that way.
Child
it doesn't
factory
sound as
labor.
nice.
Good times.
You know, irony, I think that might be book-worthy as well.
Mm.
Who else do we have here?
So the next person steps forward and points at you, Alfred, and says, "Hello, my name is Xander. How's it going? And you're going to be sponsored by me today."
Yes, and what platform do you run on?
See, I'm a little different. They call me the renegade here because, you know, I don't really like the system of government. It's not really my cup of tea. I think the whole gauntlet thing is kind of ridiculous, you know? I don't know if you're picking up what I'm putting down here.
Yes, see, I'm sure you're more in support of maybe a bicameral sort of parliament, something of that nature.
Well, I mean, that's pushing the envelope a little bit. See, I'm more in favor of the system I've been working on at home, right? Like, I'm really testing it out on some graph paper. I'm thinking it's going to be called, you know, and this is the thing, because marketing is the most important part of any government system, is the 500 Years of Darkness. Now, it's got like a great taste as it rolls off the tongue, you know. A lot of people go, "Ooh, what's that? I don't want to mess with that country." Am I right?
Yes. I have to be just completely transparent with you, right? Alex?
Yeah.
I have every intention of losing this gauntlet. Just to I just
well. See, that's the great thing about the gauntlet. You don't have to win and vote for me. You could win and vote for somebody else. You just get the right to vote by winning.
I don't want to vote. All of you are horrible. I would much rather just abstain.
Well, hold on, there's one more person who hasn't gone.
And voting is an essential part of participating in your society and doing your civic duty. And if you're not happy with the options presented, perhaps you can run for office yourself.
I don't know if that's how they presented voting in this point, because we have to earn the right to vote instead of it being given.
Well, correct.
It seems a little strange to me, but let's hear from our final candidate here.
Yeah, Whizbang. Well, as you're bringing that up, the last person steps forward and goes, "Hi. I'm Craig, and yeah, I guess I'm up for this whole could be king thing. Sounds cool."
Do you have a platform, Craig? Do you have a policy stance?
Yeah, you know, not much. I don't know. I'm just like a dude.
Okay. Philosophically, any perspectives?
I mean, like, look, I'm not trying to overturn the apple cart. Like, really, you know, people have rights, and
what sort of rights? What sort of rights do people have? Just out of curiosity.
People have all kinds of rights. They have rights to liberty, the pursuit of happiness.
Okay.
Freedom to seek one's own purpose in the world and universe.
Well, that's
and
not
you know,
bad.
yeah, you know, and I also think, you know, intrinsically, people have the right to, you know, eat people.
Friends, can we have a sidebar?
And which person
please.
is this?
That's Craig.
That's Craig.
Craig is also cannibalism.
Who among us hasn't eaten another person?
Craig, I have a question.
I haven't.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you think about rocks as a compression over centuries and millennia, in which case, perhaps. But
Craig, is it?
Yeah.
Is it like, say someone turns someone else into an animal and then eats them? You support that?
I mean,
or are you vegan otherwise?
No.
Okay, so not so much with the muscle bros.
Who?
Never mind.
Your neighbors, you should get to know them. Global community and all that. Reginald, I know that look in your froggy eye.
Rivet.
Whatever you're doing, restrain it.
Hey, people croak all the time.
At that point, the elder is going to step forward and kind of look over his shoulder and start signing at you all. And the translator is going to... And she whispers, You can vote for anyone. It doesn't have to be them. You can pick my grandpa if you want.
Sure. Yes.
What does your grandpa stand for?
Don't even care.
You know what? Reginald has a point. These 4 people suck.
I
They
don't
suck
know. I feel
butts.
like Craig had some good ideas.
However, I would.
He's talking about dead people, correct?
Craig was talking about dead people. Yeah, but also life,
done
liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So,
Yeah.
so life and death, depending on your preference. Though I suppose you like both, huh?
Out of character, I do
Yeah.
have something on my sheet where I can eat people to heal.
Yeah.
That's not me being Jasmine. That's actually
Do they have to be like
Or
dead or
is it?
anyone?
any defeated foe we have. I can eat them.
Oh my
Even-
god.
It doesn't restrict it to like beasts, so I'm assuming humanoids as well.
Okay.
Horrifying.
It's the undead thing. Gotta love the undead thing.
All right, let's just do this gauntlet and vote for whoever.
So
Yes.
we're asking about the grandpa's platform, but here's the thing: the grandpa is still supporting this system of government, and I have some concerns regardless. And anyone who's supporting this, I have some concerns about. So I mean, I don't feel really comfortable interfering in someone else's election when I haven't been part of the system of government and don't understand all of the nuances of their society. So,
Reginald raises his hand. I have an idea. How about we all vote for ourselves?
what if the person has 2 votes?
But then no one would, and then it would become a council instead, because it would be all equal.
Oh.
So you
I
finish
know
at
how
the
we can do
same
this.
time?
Yes.
Or we vote 1 vote for each of the people and 1 vote for grandpa.
Oh.
That's a good point. Let's force a council on
But
these
then
people.
it's a council of these 5 people who have really
Well, no, I said everybody votes for themselves, so that way everyone has to be involved.
but there's only the votes that we get. So it's our 4 votes plus the bonus vote.
Yeah, we could vote for ourselves.
Oh.
Us.
Yeah,
Not
we could
our-
Then
vote-
there's the
we could
extra vote.
Who gets the extra vote? Like,
That's what I'm asking.
I don't. But it doesn't have to be used technically, right?
The winner gets it.
Yeah, the
we
winner
could-
gets it. So if there's
the-
no winner,
That's
Ah.
true. We could all tie. Or if there is a winner, they could also vote for the grandpa.
Or horns.
exactly.
Or
tails.
horns.
Yeah. So
Horns
if,
is just chilling.
Great.
if everyone just votes for themselves, then it becomes a stalemate, and they have to come up with a whole new structure to their government.
All
I
right,
love this.
Reginald. Let's do it. Let's
Is
run
it
the
our
government.
place, though, to force them to restructure their entire society as outsiders who have never
they
been
also-
We were
before?
prophesized,
They're
WB.
also eating people, and
True.
Well, they're
But so-
working
but so
on
does
eating
Alfred.
people.
You know, personally, I think if you govern a man, you teach him how to not destroy his township from the inside for a day. But if you allow a man to restructure his system of government, then his society doesn't implode from the inside for a lifetime. It's some metaphor about fishing, I'm sure.
Hmm.
I'm going
Well
to be very
said.
honest with you. I really don't care about these people.
Yeah.
I find them trifling.
Well,
They are also very small.
do the
they
plan.
are.
Trust me, it'll work. It's flawless. And then if it doesn't work, we leave.
Yeah.
I agree with Sir Reginald. It's the best
All
way
right.
to remain impartial in this joke of a governmental system.
I mean, they're all going to vote for themselves too, so it's easy.
Mm.
They're too selfish to not do that. So we basically force them to reevaluate in a way that everyone has an equal opinion.
Sounds good to me.
So we all vote for ourselves?
Well, so we have to go
Yes.
through the gauntlet first,
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
and we have to tie.
That'll be easy.
All right.
I'm sure.
So is the plan to all go through equally at the same time?
Yes, I
Yeah.
think so.
Okay. All right. So as you've all decided this, they've been waiting patiently for you to remove yourself from your huddle. And look up. There's a little bit of signing. And are you ready?
Yes. Take us through the gauntlet.
And then turns around, the elder signs, and then the whole audience just erupts in cheers. And yay! Hey, the Titans have returned! Yay! As you are led by honor guard forward onto the 3-inch platform. Immediately, as soon as you enter there, from the buildings on the side, long poles, basically the length of broomsticks, with sharp daggers on the end, are released and begin swinging back and forth. You'll have to cross through these pendulums to complete the first portion. What will you do?
What are they made of?
Not much more than long broomsticks with knives tied to the end of them.
I'm a big fan of gauntlets, and I actually wear some. They are bladed. Perhaps I could just. I think of them kind of like Wolverine claws. Maybe that's a possibility.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So give me a roll for that.
Okay.
Are you trying to break through them, or are you trying to
just cut them? Well, you said they're basically broomsticks, right?
Yeah.
So I could just slice through the wood, I suppose.
Yeah.
The bladed gauntlets do a d6 of slashing and a d6 of a d6 plus my strength, I guess, of slashing and a d6 of bludgeoning. So 7 and 8.
Excellent. Yeah. Those pendulums just, and then they clatter to the floor. And then there's a hush that falls over the crowd. And then everyone goes wild. They can't believe what they're seeing. No one has attempted government in this fashion before. And you're all free to step forward to the next challenge.
This is how we cut through bureaucracy?
Yes.
Literally.
With a knife.
Soon, in
Claws of
front of you,
justice.
about 3 feet, is another raised platform. This one 3 inches off of the platform you're currently on. And upon it is what appears to be a dead skunk. And then from the side of the crowd, you hear, "Feast of the Beast!" And everyone begins to chant, "Feast of the Beast! Feast of the Beast!" Apparently, they might want you to eat this.
Heels, it's your time to shine. I command you and Horns to eat this thing, not leave a single trace behind.
The bulls look at each other. They both kind of make their way forward.
They have advantage on all non-combat rolls. So if they have to make like a con save or something.
Yeah.
I also am pretty sturdy on this, I think. I can wait, hang on, let me look at what this is. Oh no, never mind. It's unless we consider this natural mineral deposit, I cannot digest this.
But it's okay. The bulls, though they don't usually eat mammals, step forward and begin chewing into this skunk. Now, they're so hot that they actually start cooking it as they eat it.
Nice.
So, yeah, the fur comes off, and they're just eating this skunk, and before too long, it's gone. And they just look very upset at you, but nod.
It's okay. That was my reaction the first time I had foie gras. You'll develop your palate.
Hesitantly, they fall back in line with you all. And up ahead is yet one more platform. And this one has 3 tiny bottles on it. And in fact, there's 3 tiny bottles on there for each of you. There are 4 tables ahead of you.
Okay.
And labeled across the floor, spread out, is a phrase. Don't drink the poison. What do you do?
I just drink all of the bottles because I believe I'm immune to poison.
That's funny. So am I.
So you're all just grabbing all the bottles and just drinking them?
Don't say you all.
Yeah, I was gonna say that there's a we could theoretically just get through here by spilling them or breaking the bottles or just anything other than drinking them.
At this point, are Alfred and Irony both like in the middle of drinking poison?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. What was that, WB?
No one gave us any instruction that we had to actually drink from these bottles. I think we just inferred that from contextual clues. And there's no actual instruction that we had to drink the poison. But you do you?
The little bottles are empty in front of you. There are still 2 tables, one for Whizbang and one for Reginald. What would you like to do with those?
I walk up to the table and it has like a bottle on it.
There's 3 bottles on there.
I pop open one of the corks and sniff it.
Mm-hmm. Give me a perception roll.
That is 18.
18, perfect. Yeah. It smells. It's an interesting smell. It smells of mushrooms.
I open the other one.
Yeah. And you give that one a whiff too?
Yep.
Also smells of mushrooms.
My mushroom friend is still in my head, so I'm going to recast Speak with Plants and put their body up to this thing.
Why does this smell like you?
Oh, that's because it's made of me. Well, not me, but a friend.
Oh, are you edible?
Oh, no. I wouldn't do it.
Oh,
Well, that would be like,
I should not drink this, should I?
Live your life?
Would that end my life?
Well, maybe.
You're a jerk. I take the bottles and I juggle them.
Okay, yeah. Give me a performance roll on that.
Hell yeah. 10.
Oh, yeah. So you get like 2 or 3 rotations in there, but then one of them slips and falls and breaks. And that kind of throws your rhythm off, and then they all fall and break on the floor in front of you.
Didn't drink it.
You didn't.
Ta-da.
All right, Whizbang.
I would like to. I'm just curious what's actually in here, so I'd love to use my alchemist's kit.
Oh yeah.
Give it a gander.
Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, give me a nature or a medicine roll. I'll let you pick on that.
This rocks.
There we go.
So it's either a 16 or let's see how it goes with advantage. Yeah, we'll go with the 16.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah. So this first bottle is mostly fungal matter mixed in with a little bit of brackish water.
Okay.
And you start examining all of them, and they all appear to be that way.
Oh no. Well, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with my original plan, and I'm just gonna knock them off the table.
Yeah, you do that, and they all fall, clatter, and spill. And while you're all standing there, the crowd goes, "They didn't drink it!" And everyone cheers.
Yay, us!
Because clearly, you're all good. So clearly, you didn't drink any poison. All right, you move forward, and there is one final platform in front of you. And it opens up slowly but surely to a 6-foot diameter hole. And you hear a loud whirring sound. And then the crowd begins to chant, slow at first, but growing louder and louder. The Dark One! 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 Kill the Dark One! As rising up from this hole is a 5.5-foot tall very parched fur, patchy gnoll. He's got shackles on. He seems pretty over it. And says, "Hi, I'm the Dark One.
Hello.
Yes, we have to fight now."
Why?
Yeah, they're chanting.
Oh,
Just
what
just
if-
do it.
Well, hey there! You're clearly a sentient person. I know what it's like to be a sentient person.
Yeah.
How about this, buddy?
And Iron E leans in and whispers so they're not overheard by the rest of the villagers.
What if we pretend to defeat you? Okay? And you just play dead, and then you can get out of here once this whole thing's over.
Yeah.
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 Oh, I like that. Yeah, let's do that. All right. So, roll for initiative.
Oh boy, okay. Oh boy, okay.
22. That's a natural 20.
Woo!
That's an 8. 8, handsome 8 for Irony.
Five.
5. Awesome.
I didn't hear what we were rolling. I am sorry.
Initiative.
That makes way more sense.
We're
Also-
fighting a gnoll, or we're stage combating a gnoll.
Stage
My butt-
combat.
My bet went to go to
Non-lethal.
the restroom very quickly, and I came back, and there's a whole knoll. What the hell is happening?
Oh, no. we were instructed to kill it, and we are
Right.
not.
We're
Because
gonna put on a good show. Pretend
It
to
seemed
kill it.
really like they seemed really bummed to have to fight
11.
us and die.
11.
That's valid. I'd be bummed to fight us and die too.
Me too.
All right. Okay. Excellent. So, Whizbang, you're up first.
All right. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and. Gonna go ahead and cast a mirror image on myself. And
Excellent.
suddenly there are 3 of me.
Woo! All right, there's 3 of you. What are you gonna do?
And I think that's all I want to do right now.
Awesome. So the gnoll is going to take a fake swing, and it's coming in at Iron, and it is not a very convincing attack. He rears up and goes, "Ah!" And kinda,
I'm so scared.
slaps your chest plate and just echoes boom.
Okay.
It's kind of like, oh.
Does it deal any damage non-lethally?
No
Okay.
damage whatsoever. And Reginald.
Okay, so we're faking fighting this person.
Correct.
Yes, non-lethal, hopefully.
So Reginald takes his dagger
Mm-hmm.
and tries to throw it past them. Like trying to basically make a convincing oh, they missed.
Okay.
What would you like me to roll for that?
For that, give me Dex sleight of hand.
Ooh, okay. 22.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, it goes skittering past down the alley and ding, 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 hits a couple cobblestones along the way.
You
And they're like,
scallywag!
"Oh." They look a little frightened that you actually threw something at them. And it is Iron's turn.
Oh, Reginald, that was so close. You almost hit them.
Okay, it's time to put your bones in the grave.
And Iron is going to cast Fireball, but
Oh.
try to do it like as non-lethally as possible. So the Null's gonna have to make. Can I declare magical attacks non-lethal?
We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I need to like make a check? If this
we'll
thing
do a check
kills
on that. Yeah.
Okay. But first they have to make a dex save against 15.
They succeed.
Oh, perfect. Then it's just half damage. Right off the dome.
Mm-hmm.
So let me roll them bones. Okay. It's gonna be 4.
Mm-hmm.
7.
Mm-hmm.
7 plus 6. 13 divided by 2.
Okay. So we'll call that a cool 6.
A cool 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool 6.
All right. So where are you shooting that fireball?
I'm going to center it right on the knoll, but try not to get the village, if that's possible.
Well, yeah, it's right in the middle there. So you're going to do that, and it's going to launch out, and it's going to take him right in the chest, and it's going to carry him back a little bit for a second, and then it's just... And the knoll's going to fall down, and there's going to be some smoke rising up, and it's quiet.
Okay, I misspoke. I missed another 5d6 of damage because I forget how powerful Fireball is.
Please do it.
That's 14 or another 7 on top of that.
Okay, yeah. All right, it's still good. It's still good.
Okay.
And it's just going to lay there. It appears it's no longer moving.
Oh, did I do it? What do you think, Alfred?
I don't know. Let's make sure. And I'm gonna go and I'm gonna smile. And when I smile, you see that my teeth are made of like almost like a diamond material, and so they go tink. And I go in and I like I'm biting, and I'm actually gonna bite through the chains that are binding the knoll.
Yeah. So while you're doing that, you hear, "Thanks.
You're welcome."
It continues to lay there. And then uproarious crowd cheers your names. The Titans! The Titans! The Titans! And the elder makes his way forward with the 4 candidates and says, in sign, "We would like you to make your choices. Who will you elect to lead us? Place your votes."
I vote for myself.
There's a hush whisper among the crowd.
Oh, that's strange. I also would like to vote for myself.
More gasps.
I suppose I shall do the same.
Even more concerned muttering amongst the crowd.
And like my companions, but different, I vote for Alfred.
And just like that, Alfred, you have become leader of the tiny people.
But Reginald, that's not.
Who has the extra? Oh, we all crossed at the same time, so there is no extra vote, huh?
Reginald,
Hey, wasn't a pun.
I'm up to here with you.
That's just your shoulder. So you're pretty grounded and you have good support.
That's true. I'm mostly pretty peeved at you.
Oh.
The 4 candidates bow, begrudgingly so, but bow nonetheless. And a small laurel crown is brought out to you, Alfred, and is placed gingerly upon your foot.
That's a lovely toe ring there, Alfred.
You've spent so long serving others, Alfred. Now it's your turn.
Oh, Reginald, you're too kind, sir. I just, between you and me, I'm not very fond of these people. But yes, I shall serve as your benevolent leader, and as my first act of benevolence, I hereby insist that you create some type of constitution for yourselves that you all have a say in, regarding what the general expectations of every citizen of this place are, and stop tying up sentient creatures and putting them in a hellish gauntlet. All right, we're going to be on now, so have a wonderful one. I'll be back in, I'm sure, some amount of time to check in on you.
That was actually very well spoken.
Your first decree is met with silence, and then understanding as everyone starts to look around and take each other in for the first time. Maybe your actions today, Alfred, won't affect, the first generation. But further on, you probably had some really good change here. And as you all turn from these tiny people, you hear cheers. The Titans! The Titans. They
Remember
echo.
the Titans.
There it is.
Oh my god.
After that, we're going to take a quick break, all. We'll see you back in just a few minutes. Go grab some water, hang out for a second. And
Check out the
we'll be right back.
Kickstarter.
Yeah,
Yes.
check it out. It's live right now. We just unlocked an amazing new playable character in the form of Giuseppe, the very caring pizza baron that has put us all on this quest. Yeah. If you have any questions, I can answer them in the comments as they come up. Anything about the Kickstarter? I can also tell you about this amazing game right here. Or this game. Or even that dragon.
Oh, hey, Dan.
Oh, hey, James. How's it going?
It's good. I'm going to figure out how to get just me and you on the screen, and then we'll talk. We'll fill this with banter.
Banter? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, sure. So, yes, Kickstarter is live, only live for the rest of this week. I want to ask you, what has been your favorite daily update that we've done so far?
Oh, man. For me, today has been the crowning achievement. We finally got Giuseppe.
Oh!
So long. And he's finally here. And it's awesome. It's been my favorite surprise we've had up our sleeves for a while now.
Yeah, I think, it's pretty cool to see that one in there. I know there was a lot of people who were wanting more heroes to be in the game. So that was fun to slip in and just be like, just wait. We have one more big stretch goal coming later this week.
I think it's tomorrow, maybe. Who knows? We'll see, depending on how people do.
Depending on how people do is exactly right. Is exactly right. Yeah, Giuseppe. I saw a comment in the questions. They're like, his Mamma Mia ability is going to be hard to trigger as you level him up, and that's very true. But that just means you need to be clever about the way that you build out Giuseppe. Wouldn't you say, Dan?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Because if you start him up with just his 2 red dice that he has initially for melee, you got 50-50 odds on rolling 2s on each of those dice. So if you keep his dice all red all the time, you got better chances of triggering that Mamma Mia and get some more dice rolls off of it.
Well, the one time I played him, I saw that, and then I was like, well, I'm just going to build out his dice in pairs, right? So I upgraded everything. And then as I upgraded those, right, then I moved over and I would add a third. And by that time, we were deep into the game and it wasn't that big a deal. But I was able to definitely hit some dubs, as we like to call it, in the TTS design world. It was good times. Giuseppe's good times.
Yeah. Oh, we got a question from Choose You.
Choose You asks, what is your favorite character that you've gotten a chance to play?
Oh golly. I really like playing as Sir Thaddy Croaks. Just having the third action from the get-go, being able to evade and just being able to pick up and equip treasure immediately is such a nice benefit in that game. You can really save the end of a turn.
My favorite character to play, I really do like Buddy, just because I like to punch stuff. Wow. Sir Thaddy, the ability to actually just equip stuff as you pick it up, because the way the mechanics of the game work, is really useful and fun. And it's a fun character to lean into, right? Because you're like, hey, y'all, I'm supposed to go run over here and grab this because I'm a burglar. It's what I do. So it lets me be selfish, but, I have a justification for it. And then obviously Isabella's a lot of fun too. Just being able to really spool up all of the elementals and have them go off and do things for you. It's pretty satisfying. So there's a lot, William's great. All the spell casting. I really enjoy. I think my favorite part about the second game is the melee and ranged feat decks. I like having those. That wasn't there in the first game, so that's new, and they're really useful as far as like being able to get involved when it's not your turn. That was one of the things that I think we really focused on is like, how do you keep everybody engaged at the game at all times? And because all of these feats and spells now, there's a lot more things that you can do on other people's turns. It keeps you plugged in because like you're like, oh, I've got the perfect spell for the situation. Bam, that sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. James Vanderkirk has also pointed out that for Giuseppe, if you just give him one red die in Magic, that gives you a 50-50 chance on rolling a 3. Because you'll hit that 2, you'll get to re-roll it again, and then that immediately can trigger Make It a Pizza ability, which heals everybody.
Make It a Pizza.
Yeah.
You can't say his abilities though without like
make
a pizza sort of awful Italian Mario-ish type accent to it. It's good times. It's good times. Giuseppe, our pizza baron.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I am really interested to see how this goes. Sir Reginald throwing in the surprise there at the end.
Yeah.
Way to go, Red. You got to watch those. You got to watch the Reginalds of the world. They'll do things like that. Yes. Friday is our last day with the campaign. It's we're really just overly excited, probably too excited about getting in this one into development because like a lot of it you have to make sure you're going to hit and unlock all your stretch goals, and then you get all the stuff in, and then you can kind of do your final pass on the development side of things. But because this one is campaign based, we just have to play through it a few times, which is just fun. It's just fun to play the game, and really looking forward to getting this one into production and getting it out into the world. Fingers crossed that ocean freight won't be crazy roughly this time next year when this thing's ready to go. Okay, it looks like everybody is back, and I am going to now shut my face and go away. Goodbye.
Well, hey all, welcome back.
Hello.
This can only go well.
I mean, what an epic solution we just had there. There was, absent monarchy happening and developing constitutional conventions. It's just good times. Now.
Very, very, very tiny constitutional conventions.
What lies ahead? Okay. Pretty soon after this, you find yourself walking further. Down, down, down. As the tunnels get damper and darker, the light seems faded. You start splashing in puddles. As the scent begins to rise, something fetid of still water that's been sitting for too long.
Mm-mm.
Soon, you see the tunnel begin to open up ahead. And before you, a vast chamber flooded with water. Ahead, there is a small pathway of rocks leading out across this lake. And at the end of that path, you see a small, broken down ship emerging from the lake. And scurrying over the gunwale and into the hold is your rat. What do you do?
Our mushroom.
Mm-hmm.
How far away is the mushroom rat?
The ship is about 100 yards away.
100 yards. What is that in feet?
In
if anyone
feet,
knows
that's
off the top of their
300
head.
feet.
300 feet.
Okay, I don't think I... Can I try to move forward like 200 feet. Like I'm just gonna Iron E is just gonna like start going forward. And go, hey, you took our mushrooms.
Are you gonna wade into this lake?
Yes. I have a flying speed of 10. So as I approach the lake, boop boop, these two propellers deploy from my shoulders, and they're like tiny little like hand fans, like electric fans that go. But miraculously, like a bumblebee or a hummingbird, I hover. Even though my form is gigantic and heavy, these tiny propellers are enough to get me into the air, and I skirt 10 feet above the surface of the lake and go toward the rat.
Yeah. So you start making your way across the water. The force is pushing the water down behind you. And you start shouting out after it, but met with no response. You can make your way all the way to the ship if you want, and you can see that on top of the deck there is a hole, and it appears that's where the rat has gone.
Interesting. I want to give my companions a chance to react before I do anything further.
Okay.
This is on the ship that it's scurried down?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I wade into the water.
Excellent. Yeah. So you make your way in. It's dark and murky, but, it's just water, right?
No.
And you know what? Give me a dex saving throw.
Oh. 23.
Excellent. You feel something wrap around your leg just as you pull it up and continue to kick forward. Clearly,
Mildly
these waters
concerning.
aren't empty.
Yeah. Water. Not empty. Don't drown.
And yeah, you keep swimming. And okay, yeah. Off in the distance, there's a loud splash, and waves start making their way across the surface of the water towards you, as if something large has just entered the water.
I go underwater to see what it is.
Yeah, off in the distance, you can see one eye, two eye, three eyes, 7 eyes or so, bright yellow, staring at you, moving towards you very fast. And then you see the mouth opening wide and wider and wider, large enough to swallow you whole. What do you do?
I cry. Me too, dog. You know what? I'm just gonna. I'm gonna. Can I? I don't feel like I can outswim this thing, do I?
Probably not. It's moving relatively fast towards you.
Okay. I'm gonna swim up. Just yet.
Yeah. So you do that, and you make your way up, and you're right next to probably the middle of this chain of rocks leading towards the boat.
Did you say a chain of rocks?
Mm-hmm.
Are they delicious rocks?
Well, you could give them a try. They're sticking out of this water. They could be good.
No.
I think that sounds... no? Oh, okay.
I mean, you could try.
I mean, I can't tell with stone cutting anything about what they are.
Yeah, they're just like naturally formed rocks that have eroded because of this water dripping down. Maybe they were once stalagmites, but time and the waves have eroded them down a little bit. Okay. So we've got to move fast if we're all trying to get across, or we can try to fight this thing. You got a couple different options here. What are you all thinking?
Can you describe the creature that we would have to fight again, please?
You saw or rather, Reginald saw a large gaping maw and several eyes. approaching at quite the clip underwater.
Can we see this from above the water specifically? Can Iron E see this from where they're hovering?
Yeah, from where you're hovering, you can see a large 20-foot long shape just rippling through the surface.
No.
It's time, friends! Pull out your swords, your spells, your weaponry, your foci, and let's get to business. This is what it means to be a forager.
And Iron E is going to cast Fireball yet again. Why not? Into the water.
Excellent.
Towards its butt, right? It's not near me, right?
I'm trying to get it out of like Reginald's, where Reginald would be. I'm going to use, let's see, 2 sorcery points in order to cast this as a bonus action, and then cast it again as an action. So it's a double fireball situation.
Excellent.
Yes.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah, I know sorcerers are like insane. Okay. So that is going to be 2 separate deck saves.
Yep, and both of them failed.
Okay, fantastic. I'm just going to use a dice roller real quick.
Sure.
Just roll some dice. That's going to be 16d6.
Oh my god.
Which is a total of 60 points of fire damage.
My goodness. Okay.
Speed run.
All right. So yeah, there's just like this enormous geyser of water and heat and steam that just like right there, and it's almost just like a depth charge just went off, and then a second one immediately accompanies it. And I need everyone to roll for initiative.
Yeah. That much I can do.
Ooh. 19 here.
19?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
14.
I am also 14.
14.
Hey.
Okay. Who has the higher dex?
My dex is a +3, 16.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right, Iron, you're going first.
Okay, would this thing count as being within 15 feet of me? / can I use my movement to get within 15 feet of it?
You can move a lot closer to it, yes.
I will. My little propellers. I only have 10 feet of movement with my propeller, so I think I use the 10 feet to drop down.
You're gonna, since you're at the boat, you actually have about 150 feet.
Oh shoot! Okay.
Between you.
Okay, then in that case, can I ready an action and delay my turn? Okay, I'm gonna declare that I will cast a certain spell if it gets within range, and that's gonna be a trigger.
Excellent.
Okay.
All right.
At the end of my turn, I'm gonna use a bonus action to convert sorcery points into spell slots.
Awesome.
So you're aware.
Sounds good. All right. Was that Whizbang next?
Do you mind, Reginald?
No, go ahead.
All right, I am going to use a special ability that I have as a mech wearer. I am going to use my giant smushy fist, and I reach out and I slam my fist on the metaphorical table, since we're gonna be virtual today, and I need them to make a dex save, please.
All right. DC?
14.
Yeah, they failed that.
Okay, I get to do 1d20 damage. So let's see how this goes. Oh, yes, I like this. It's a 16, so 16 points of damage.
Nice.
And that's in a 15-foot square. It's a rectangle, 10 by 15 rectangle, so anything else
Roughly
that's...
that size.
Boom!
And I smush it with a giant smushy fist. And then I'm going to use my my Shell Razor ability, and I'm going to fortify my armor, which will boost my AC plus. It'll give me +3 to my AC temporarily.
Nice. Excellent. Moving on to Reginald.
So then I am going to wild shape myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I can do it as a bonus action into a crocodile.
Woo!
And just his mouth kind of opens up and then elongates, and then rows of teeth form. His green skin goes to a darker green. His body kind of elongates, expands, and he starts like when he's swimming, it becomes much more jagged motions. And so, how far away from me is this thing?
It's about 50 feet from you.
50 feet. Okay. So then I will dash to get up next to it.
Yeah, you do that.
And that'll be my turn.
Okay, Alfred.
I am going to attack it with my short bow.
Excellent.
Does a 19 hit?
Oh, yes, it does.
So I deal 9 damage to it, and let me think. Oh, okay, that's advantage on a check. I think that's all I'll do for now.
Excellent. All right, it's gonna swim up to you, Reginald, and it's gonna come in for a bite.
Do it.
Let's see. How's a 19?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe.
It's gonna bite you for. Okay. You're gonna get bit for 14 piercing damage as its jaws open wide. You can see it's got eye stalks coming out from different points of its head, and frills and flanges just all over it. It's got little suckers on little tentacles as it reaches towards you, but it bites down first. And yeah, that's all it's gonna do for right now. So Iron, it's your turn.
Okay, it didn't get within range, right?
No.
All right, okay, that's fine.
It's coming like this, and you're over here, so it's like a perpendicular.
Okay, I'm going to use the rest of my speed. I have 35 walk, 10 fly. I can't do math off the top of my dome, but I'm going to hope that maybe what that means is I jump off the ship, and I'm going to take this combat like waterborne, right?
All right.
I'm just like using my 10 feet of hover to just hover above if I can.
Nice.
That'll get me like another 35. If I also take my speed from my previous turn, 70 feet closer to it. Okay. So how far away do you think Irony would be from this creature?
With that, you're roughly 70 feet or so away.
Okay. Then in that case, Reginald, did you take damage? Can you remind me if that happened? Okay. Could I, before I move?
Sure.
Actually, no. There's no speed. There's no range requirement for this. After Reginald takes damage, at the end of Reginald's turn, as a reaction to interrupt that, I'm going to cast the spell Doomed at the 2nd level. So I cast this as a reaction. Oh wait, no, that would actually hurt Reginald. Never mind. Never mind. No. I don't want to hurt Reginald. Oh boy. Then I'm gonna get closer, and then I'm gonna just cast a Skeletal Hoedown at 3rd level. Right. So what Irony is gonna do is they're gonna like flourish their arms and their hands like they're playing an imaginary fiddle. They're gonna go, "This is a little something I learned while herding astral cattle in the astral sea. Ka-cha!" And Irony is going to whistle a tune and start playing a song, and like a ghostly song comes out of this like imaginary fiddle. And that creature is going to have to just straight up take damage. I don't know if it even gets a save.
And no, it doesn't on that one.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to roll for that. That is 2d10. 8. 10. 18.
All right.
Okay. It doesn't say what kind. I imagine psychic, maybe? 18 points of damage.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Does that defeat it? Probably not, right?
No, but it does not seem to like that very much. In fact, it like retches in the water a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm going to use another 2 sorcery points to cast Scorching Ray as a bonus action.
Oh, excellent.
So I'm going to make 3 spell attacks. Sorcerers can do so much. That is a 14 for the first one.
Ooh. That is a hit, yeah.
Okay, oof. That is only a 9 for the second one. Ooh, that's even worse. That's a 10. That's a 10 for the third?
No, that's not going to hit, sadly.
Okay, so just once.
Mm-hmm.
All right, no worries. Then that is going to be... I wish it were easier to, like, find my spells. Up. Okay, there it is. Let's see. It's going to be 5 points of fire damage total.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Yep. And that's all I do on my turn.
All I do. 2 spells.
All right, whiz bang.
Okay, let's see how this goes. I think I am going to go in. I am geared up in that, not that. I have this equipped. I have this, and I have. Okay, so I think I'm going to go in there, and I would like to do some. I feel like going in with my bladed gauntlets a little bit and taking an attack there. And then I'm going to take an attack also with my... actually, I'm going to do 2 attacks with my bladed gauntlets, I suppose, here.
Awesome.
So these are infused with some magic here. That first one is going to be a 16 to hit. The second one will be a... a 20 to hit, not a natural, it's a dirty 20. Do those.
Oh, yeah. Both of them hit. Just like.
All right. So for the first one, it's going to be that +1. So that's 9 for the first attack. Second attack will do 11.
Okay.
So it's 20 points of damage
Awesome.
on that.
Yeah. It takes this hit and it just like crumples under those blows. Like it is not doing well right now. And you can see it just kind of like skittering as much as it can get away from you in the water.
And I'm going to kind of push a button and I'm going to go so I can see what it's doing.
Yeah.
Lift up a little bit in my seat.
It appears to be going lower into the water. But Reginald, you're right there with it. What are you going to do?
Bite it with my crocodile mouth.
Excellent.
That is a 19 to hit.
That is definitely going to hit.
Okay. So that is 9 points of piercing damage.
Awesome. Where are you biting this thing?
Like right in its body.
Yeah. It's bit that starts squirming against you, and your teeth are just full of like slimy tentacles and like sinewy muscle underneath some scales. You can just feel a crunch under that as the scales flake off into your mouth, but it's squirming away from you as much as it can. It is trying really hard now. It appears to get away.
Will you make so technically after biting it, the target is grappled and it's an escape DC 12 check to end the grapple, or it's restrained.
Excellent. Ooh. It did get away.
Oh, well, you know what? They get away sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm going to use my reaction to say, jolly good shot, sir. And you can add 1d4 to any of your rolls, including your damage roll. So if you want to...
You know what? Let's toss it on there. Let's toss it on there.
Yeah.
Can I also use my reaction to finally actually cast Doomed?
Yes.
Okay, so it's cast as a reaction when the creature's damaged. And while you do that, I'm going to flail my invisible fiddle above my head and go, hey, you, watch it, you underwater Leviathan, you. And they have to make a dex save.
It's an extra 4
against
piercing
15.
damage.
Extra 4? Nice.
Yeah.
Dex save, it was 14?
Against 15. Okay,
15,
perfect.
Yeah.
There's so
Yes.
many moving parts to this. Dan, bless your soul.
It is going to take an extra 8. Ooh, 8 plus 9. That is 17 points of damage.
That's what you tried to do to me.
Nice.
I know. I'm so sorry. As a giant sword that's labeled Damocles's appears out of nowhere, like above the water, and then just plummets into this creature from above, and this cascade of white like splash just like comes out of the surf.
I thought we were cool, Cotty.
Awesome. Oh my gosh. So, yeah. As that all comes down, it just settles slowly but surely at the bottom of the water.
Is it still alive and kicking, or is it?
It's still. Reginald, you have the best view of it. Currently, it's just sinking down into the blackness. Still bleeding from multiple holes, burns, and a giant sword wound from Damocles.
Sword of Damocles. Always gets you.
I don't know if it's dead, but it's sinking in water. Which is probably dead.
But I'm a crocodile, so just.
What was that, Reginald? Could you enunciate?
And I switch back.
It's sinking, so I would say that it's probably dead now, maybe.
Did we do it? Did we save the day?
Why are we here?
Oh, shit!
mushrooms.
Because the mouse is on the ship.
Okay, cool.
The mouse is in the house.
I was just making
All right.
sure.
If you're not looking to pursue further combat, you're out of
The
initiative.
mushroom is in the house room.
Wonderful.
Oh yes, Rat Man, where are you? Come here, buddy.
All right. Are you going back towards the ship on that?
100%.
Yeah. So as you like hover back over to the ship, you can see the hull now has a light purple glow coming out of it.
Oh no!
And you hear a loud
Muscle Bros? Muscle Bros, are you working out again? Did you go check your form?
Right, you're all making your way over to the ship?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you crawl on board. You're all surrounding this hole. You going in?
Let's see if we can draw it out first.
Mm.
Can I use there's an artificer infusion that I have that allows me to disguise something as something else. Like it's I think it works kind of like a minor illusion on an item. I wonder if I could infuse something to smell like some sort of cheese, perhaps. But maybe a cheese that had like a truffle element to it. Get that fungus among us happening with that there cheese.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, there's some cheese now, or some scent you've created. Yes.
Yeah, it's called magical tinkering. It lets me. It emits an odor or nonverbal sound or a static visual effect. So it's basically a minor illusion or a magic mouth kind of thing. So I basically want to do a scented cheese that might hopefully draw out our friend here.
Yeah. So where are you placing this? Just like right at the mouth of the hole? You're all backing up? Or?
So remember when we were gonna do that thing where we were gonna? Oh, your friend will know.
So I'm just gonna go kind of set it down so that away from Reginald's fungal friend.
I mean, they can't understand us anymore. 10 minutes is probably past.
Fair. Well, if we put this down here, perhaps we can spring the attack as we were going to do before.
Oh.
Without the knowledge of your fungal friend.
That makes sense.
They do make creams for that, you know.
All right. So yeah, you set that down. and then you wait. And then a moment passes. But then you begin to hear. And a small twitching snout begins to rise up. And then you can see more of this thing's head as it comes into view. And the whole thing is some kind of living fungus. It's porous. It has holes that cut all the way through. It's got little sprouting mushrooms all over. Its eyes are actually just empty holes as it just sniffs up and begins to twitch around and then stops. And it gives one big... What do you do?
This is not a person, right? This is not a humanoid?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to attempt to sneak up and use my sticky fingers to just pickpocket an armful of mushrooms if I can.
Yeah, you totally can do that. All right, give me a stealth check first.
15.
15, all right. Okay, yeah. So you get up real close to it. All right, and you're going to try to pickpocket off of it?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So give me that sleight of hand.
25.
25. My goodness. You get away. So you're just going in real quick, just like...
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to get 8 of these mushrooms.
Ooh.
Just before this thing even notices you're there. And as soon as you start plucking them out, though, and like bundling them, you notice that as you're pulling them, little rattlings are attached to the bottom of them. And you're just continuing to pluck these living little things out. And you have an armful of squirming rats covered in mushrooms as this thing hisses and dives back down into the hole.
Before it can fully dive down, can I also try to like reach forward and like grab stuff, but also like conjure mage hand to help me out?
Yes. Let's see it.
Okay. Is that also a dex check?
Yes, please.
Okay. Was it specifically sleight of hand or nah?
Yes.
Okay. Then in that case, that's going to be a 21.
Woo! Yeah, you're going to get, let's see. You're going to get 9 more of these things, just like just big piles of squirming rat mushrooms just in your arms. This is quite a bit. And everybody make a dex saving throw.
Hey.
Okay.
As the ship begins to rock.
13.
13.
17.
17.
18.
18.
17.
Wonderful. Everybody manages to keep their footing as the boat shakes and a large, slimy tentacle wraps itself over the opposite gun rail and clutches as an even larger head with multiple eye stalks roars and comes up over the side.
I thought we beat this guy.
It appears you only woke its mommy. Roll for initiative.
Yes.
I hated that sentence.
Hello, Grendel. How's your day going?
I got a 4.
I have an 8.
12.
Hey. High as hell. 21.
All right. Okay. All right. So that is going to be... Who had that 12 and who had the 8?
I had the 8.
Okay.
I'm actually going to use Fate Weaver as a reaction to... Does initiative count as a check?
Yeah, you roll for initiative.
Okay, great. I'm going to lose HP equal to my spellcasting modifier. That's 7 in order to re-roll this. Oh, that's a nat 20! Yes! Okay, that's a 22 total.
Nice. So we got 22 iron 21. Reginald. 12. Was that you, Alfred?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. And Whizbang, you are at 8. Excellent.
I am.
All right.
I'm basically look. This sounds like this story that I read when I was a little bit younger, and it was a ton of fun. But there was this big fight with the mother of this creature, and it was a whole heroic epic, and it was in a whole this language that was kind of like common, but it was more archaic. It was old common, and I'm trying to remember how it went, and and meanwhile, tentacles, eyes, teeth. I can't think of it. Did any of you Oh.
All right. At that moment, Iron, you're up.
Okay, I'm using all my resources here. I fireballed the wrong things, y'all. So I'm going to use 2 sorcery points to cast Thunder Wave at first level as a bonus action, and then as an action after that, cast Thunder Wave normally. I'm out of sorcery points after this. So that is going to be a Constitution saving throw from this thing, as like vibrate, and then just like a sonic boom erupts from under me. If my friends are also near me, I think they also have to make the save.
What's the save? Dex?
Let's see. Constitution saving throw against 15.
Crit fail.
Fail.
19.
Okay.
I got a 17, and I also give Reginald advantage using my Franken-friend.
Nice.
Once a long rest, I can give a player advantage on a check.
17 with advantage.
Good. So y'all are only going to take half damage. And that's twice, I think, because I cast it twice.
Okay.
On the second one, I got an 18.
Okay, great.
3.
Okay. What about Reginald and WB?
That's con again, you said?
Yeah, con again.
4.
Oh no.
16.
Okay, so it's against 15. I'm just gonna roll 4d8 and just tell you what the total is on each separate attack. So the first one is going to be 10 thunder damage, and if you failed it, then you're also pushed 10 feet in a straight line away from me.
And it's half on a fail.
Half on a fail, exactly.
Save.
Half on a save, and you're not pushed. So that's a 10 thunder for the first one. For the second one, that is 4, only 4. 4 thunder, and same with the pushing.
I feel the earth move under my feet. No?
Dan, how are we doing nat 1s on saves?
Let's just say it's pushed a little bit further on that.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Great.
So it's going to get pushed 20 feet. So that tentacle comes off and it just like pushes back away from the side of the ship.
Awesome. And as soon as like the second boom fades down and like static's crackling off of like my clay and mechanical body, Irony lets out a, my resources have been expended. And like my clay just sort of like deflates a little and seems to slough like around the iron supplements of my body a little bit as I start to smoke like a car.
That doesn't sound any good.
Is there a way that I can help repair Irony with either my mech stuff or any of my natural materials goodies, just so I can think about doing that on my turn instead of what I was planning to do? Like, could I use Magnum Opus maybe to do that? The same way I would fuse. The same way that I would fuse armor to myself, I would repair Irony's
sure.
shape.
Yeah,
Is that
let's
cool
do
with
that.
you, Irony?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's cool with me. Is this mostly just for flavor, or are you trying to like?
This is flavor. I'm trying to help heal you. But
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I'd be down for that.
Awesome.
Yep, that's the end of my turn.
Excellent. We're moving on to there we are. Reginald.
Okay. Reginald is going to use the spell Giant Form So he places his hand on himself with a root in his hand. And he actually doubles in size. His clothing bursting off of his body, and then a smoke cloud appearing over his bits.
I do hope he arranged for that stretch loincloth.
And so is this creature smaller than me at this point?
At this point, no.
No,
it is not.
It is not smaller than me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then nothing happens, and I'm just big and naked.
Okay. All right. Next, we got Alfred.
Nothing's adjacent to this creature, right?
Currently, no. It's at about 25 feet out.
I think that doesn't mean I get advantage. So I'll just shoot it with my short bow normally.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, 25.
25? Yeah, that's a hit.
Let's see. I don't do much. 4 damage.
It's okay. Every little bit always counts. So it hits, and the arrow just like and sticks right into its side. It doesn't seem to notice it too much, but it's definitely there. Next, it's going to move forward.
Reginald, do you get... No, never mind. Nothing.
All right. Next, it's going to move forward back towards the ship, and it's going to perform an attack on the ship itself. Yeah, it's going to raise its tentacles up, and it's going to slam down on the sides of the ship. And it's going to do that for... Okay. It's going to do that, and the gun rails are just going to shatter and splinter underneath it. And part of the decking is going to break through. So there's going to be another hole to the hold below where the rat is currently chittering up at you all. And then it is going to be your turn, Whizbang.
All right. I'm going to take some of those pieces that are scattered around from the deck exploding, and I'm going to take them and I'm going to start fusing them to Irony, trying to give Irony a bit more structure and strumph and perk up a little bit. So I know that functionally that's not actually doing anything, but if Irony was smoking and breaking down, I would want to repair my friend.
Totally.
So and then. Can I count that as one of my attacks and then take my second attack?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll
is it within swinging weapon range?
Yeah, there's a tentacle laid across the deck you could swing at.
Okay. I will attack with my great axe. And I guess I apply my intelligence instead. And that's magical, so it's going to be a +4. So it's a 21 to hit.
Oh, that's definitely going to hit.
Okay. And that will do 5, 6, 7 points of damage.
All right, 7 points. Awesome.
And then if it does attack me, I do have an available reaction.
Okay. Awesome.
And then as my bonus action, I'm going to go ahead and use my shell razor.
Awesome.
As those as spiky spikes erupt from my armor to protect me while I'm tending to my friend.
Awesome.
Leave Irony alone. They're awesome. Fix.
Oh, thank you so much. I feel better.
Oh, good.
All right, Iron, you're up.
I cannot do a lot. So what I'm going to do is look at the amount of mushrooms we've collected between ourselves. Because I do come from like a cook server background, would I know that what we've collected is enough? Like we don't need more mushrooms, or do we need more? For
I'd say that this is enough for a big batch of stew or soup or bisque.
Okay, then in that case, Irony's gonna go, let's just get out of here, friends. There's no point in fighting anymore. We got what we came here for. Let us flee. And Irony is gonna try to run. Are there any exits aside from the one we came in from?
Give me a perception check, actually. On that.
Oh,
See if you
boy.
can look around the room and see something.
I narrow my mechanical gaze, and that is an 11.
Woo. An 11. Well, looking around left to right, you're not seeing anything off on the side of the chamber. But that purple glow from below does catch your eye and reminds you of the portals that you saw before.
And where exactly is the glow coming from again?
The hold below.
The hold below. Okay,
Mhm.
I'm gonna say,
I think I spot another one of those portals that we came in from.
and before I dive down, I'm going to turn toward this creature and try to use animal friendship at will on it.
Mhm.
So I choose a beast. I'm gonna let you decide if it counts as a beast or not. I'm not sure. That I can see within range. It must see and hear you. If its intelligence is 4 or higher, oh boy, the spell fails. Otherwise, it must succeed on a wisdom saving throw.
You look at it, you cast it, and there's nothing there for you to connect to.
It's nothing between those eyes, is there?
All right, never mind. 2 cowardice. And Irony is going to turn. The propellers go up, and they're like turbocharged because of Whizbang's help.
Thank you, Whizbang!
As Irony like dives down and like heads toward that portal.
Yeah, you dive down in, and you can see the portal is just off to the side inside the hold. Do you want to go through it?
If I have enough speed, then yes.
You do.
I'll run right through it.
I'll
Excellent.
see y'all on the other side! Remember, we still have to get these ingredients back to... What's his name? To Papito!
All right. And then, blip, you're out of combat. All right. Next, we're up for Reginald. What are you doing?
Okay, so how far am I from that portal hole then?
You're about 10 feet from the hole down to the hold.
Okay. Yeah, nah, screw it. Cheese it. I am actually, do I want to do that weird thing? Probably. It's weird. I'm going to pull out a cup of gelatin and just lather it on my body.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to dissolve into a mass of gooey tentacles and eye stalks. And use shapeless form, and then make my way into that tiny hole as a amalgamation of horrible flesh and jello.
Yeah, so you could just probably slip straight through the decking.
I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to yes, because I can go through spaces as small as 2 inches. So I'm going to just go straight through the floor.
Yeah, you do that, and you drain right in front of this portal. Do you want to hop through it? You have enough movement left.
Yeah, I'm out.
So yeah, you slither through, and you are out of combat. Okay, Alfred, what are you doing?
Seeing that my friends have beat a hasty retreat, I shall follow them using my cunning action to take dash as a free action or a bonus
Awesome.
action.
So you just go, and you're through. Amazing. Executed elegantly. This thing is going to try to slam down one more time on this ship.
Okay, when it tries to attack, because of my radiant weapon that I had made, I get to do something, which is, I get to take. If it hits, I get a reaction.
Awesome. Well, it does hit the ship.
Okay.
So yeah, what's your reaction?
It needs to make a Constitution saving throw, DC 14.
DC 14. Okay, it fails.
It is blinded until the end of my next turn.
Okay. after it hits the ship, the deck starts to crunch, and the top decking falls through, creating like a little bit of a slide down, and it just roars and reels as its eyes just like trying to gain focus. And it is your turn, Whizbang.
All right. I'm planning on heading out, but before I do, I would like to reach into my pocket where I have a small bag of pebbles. I'm going to take out 2 of those pebbles, one of which I am going to pop in my mouth because I'm a little hungry. The second of which I will produce physically, which allows me to boost this attack, my Rolling Stones. I take it and I throw it forward. It expands to a 6-foot diameter sphere that begins rolling at the creature. With all of the rage of a slighted customer asking for a manager, this rock is named Karen. Everything in its path must make a dex saving throw or take some damage from me as I say, "Go, rock, go!"
Okay. And what's the spell save DC?
The spell save DC is Dex 14.
That is a fail.
All right, it is going to take 22 points of damage. And then I'm going to turn and say, "So long," and sprint towards the portal.
Yeah, so that rock just like ramps off the decking and just checks it right in the middle of its chest, and then it just kind of sinks back beneath the water as you slide down and pop through that portal. And then you're all there in Giuseppe's basement. There's poop on the floor. Pepito's on the stairs going, "Hey, what's going on down here?"
Well, Pepito, this is extremely unhygienic. You should really get someone down here to clean up.
Just tell me you got the mushrooms.
We did. And the barnacles.
Let me see him. He comes over, checks them out.
Here they are.
Smells them. These are good.
When you have somebody down here cleaning up, you also might want to see about the portal that suddenly keeps sprouting that leads to a place with a big undersea creature and a city of very small people who have a very unstable government. All sorts of things down there.
Well, technically not anymore. Yeah, thanks, Reginald. I am a bit of a god king now.
He's kind of looking at you as you say all that, and he's like, you shouldn't eat these while they're raw, yeah?
Oh.
Yeah. Come on. The party's about to start. Let's go. And he heads upstairs with his ingredients that you've all procured for him. You are the heroes of the hero party. You have successfully gathered all the ingredients for Giuseppe to make his mama's secret surprise seafood bisque. And the party is off to a great start. You're all welcome to enjoy now that all the food's on and hang out. And I mean, honestly, what's the worst that could happen tonight? And that it concludes our adventure today.
Yay!
Yay! You did it!
You're like really quiet for some reason.
Is it me?
No, Gabe. He's like really quiet.
There you go. I fixed it.
There.
No, I realized when they said don't drink the poison, it wasn't a trick. I thought they were messing with us. Thought it was like double entendre. No, they were like, this is poison. Just don't drink it.
Mm-hmm. I see.
You tricked me by telling the truth.
And having no other instructions. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like having a door with a lock.
And it says, this door is locked.
Yep.
I would do that. Congratulations, you all. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come play.
What terrifying subclasses.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
People. I actually eat people.
I'm sorry.
I'm an astral farmer, which was kind of cute.
I turn into goop.
I'm a librarian. Support your local libraries.
Yeah.
Both in fantasy and in real life.
Also, I become a giant nudist that scares people.
Yeah.
Okay, I like the giant nudist.
I get a Ripley.
Eating
Ripley
people
suit.
is. Oh, you get like a loader suit?
Yeah, that's basically what I'm in. So
I do like that I'm
giant big
undead
gunner.
human. So like if we encounter another undead, then we're in the same union and I can get them to do stuff for us, which is kind of cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Which is why I felt like my governing style is probably one of the better ones, even though I'm a cannibal, because I know about unions.
I mean, you got the one guy on your side already.
Yeah.
It's like solidarity. Okay.
It's awesome. By the way, just so everyone knows, the flavor text on the characters in the game is so much fun, and the flavor text on these characters is so much fun. So both in the board game and in the adventure, it's a blast. It's a really fun, silly world, and yeah,
that nails it perfectly. And we worked with a really dope consultant on that flavor text.
Thanks. There wasn't much for me to do. It was really awesome and a ton of fun to look at as I got to work on it. I kept laughing out loud every time I was looking at something new.
So awesome.
It's good times. It was an incredibly great time, y'all. Thank you everybody for coming in. I'd love, as on the outro, like everybody go around, give us your handles, where people can find you, where you're doing other RPGs and streams and things where people can come follow your other content. We would love to hear about that. Connie, you want to go first?
Absolutely. Hey, everyone. I've been Connie, also known as Irony Double Ton, your favorite golem. My pronouns are they, he, and she. You can find me on Twitter, Itch, and Patreon at by Connie Chong, BYCONNIECHANG. You can also find me as the GM and executive producer behind Transplanar RPG, which is an all transgender, people of color led, 100% homebrew Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition live streamed actual play campaign set in an original non-colonial anti-Orientalist world. Though we are a live stream, we just launched past episodes as a podcast. So just type in Transplanar RPG in Spotify, Apple Podcasts, literally anywhere, and we'll be there among a million other actual play shows. We promise we're worth your time. And with that, I suppose I'll pass along introductions to someone else.
Gabe, hit it.
Hi, I'm Gabe. You can find me at Gabe James Games. I do cosplay, voiceover, game design. I also teach dancing. I also do stunt work. I get bored, so I learn to do a lot of things. That's it.
Awesome.
What are you working on, Gabe?
Don't ask me that question, Jen. Go to Twitter. I don't even know anymore. I worked on the recently released Paizo book, The Mwangi Expanse. I wrote 3 of the gods, and I wrote about an entire city population of pirates that live above a Red Sea. Yeah, Blood Cove.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Good times. Jasmine, how about you?
Hi, hello. I'm that Bronze Girl Online. I'm a full-time content creator. I have a show on Mondays called MCU Crew, where me and my friends discuss the MCU at large. I'm launching a weekly comic book show soon. And tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I DM a D&D game called Shikar. Gabe is in it. He's fabulous. And what else am I doing? A lot of the stuff I'm working on is NDA. So if you follow me on Twitter, it's the best way, because I can't talk about it until it comes out. It's really agonizing, but you know.
I was really vibing earlier before we launched. You were talking about like all the things that you're working on, and then being really excited about some of them, but like not right now. And you're like, I know I need to do work, and I need to get this work done.
Yeah.
I think that's at least for on the creative side, as we work through like board game projects, like in my head, I call it the Clark Griswold effect, right? Where you're like, in my head, I'm so excited, and then it's like, okay, all right, well, I got my pen and my paper, now it's time to do the work. Much less excited.
Getting things into a format where other people can read it too is probably the worst thing in the world. Like world building and character design is fun, but writing things down so other people understand it is a punishment I don't wish on any creative.
So it's a funny story. It's a short one. We were doing Bloodstone, and it's another project, another game, another high fantasy. It's the opposite of Valor Villainy. It's very serious, high fantasy, other direction, right? We're going to do a novel, so we hire an author, right? And he's like, "Well, tell me all about the world. Let's get me all caught up." I'm like, "Oh man, there's so much for me to tell you. Let's have a meeting. Let's do it." So like 15 minutes of me like telling him stuff, and I'm like, "All right, that's it." He's like, "That's all? That's the whole world? Okay, all right. Well, we've got some world building to do." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, all right. Maybe I didn't have as much as I thought I did, but I thought I did." Good times. Jen, where can people follow you and see what you're doing and all the things?
Yeah, hey, I am Jen Kretschmer. You can find me on Twitter as @DreamWisp. You can find me streaming on Twitch as DreamWispJen. I am currently on a couple of different shows. I am on a show tonight right up against Jasmine and Gabe called Heroes of the Plains on Demiplane RPG, where I play my character Alindra, who is also part of Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, which is a video game. I am one of the authors on Candlekeep Mysteries, which is one of the hardcovers from Dungeons & Dragons. I am the creator of the Accessibility and Gaming Resource Guide, which you can find in my pinned tweet. I am currently on a Vampire the Masquerade show on Wednesday nights with Gabe on Play Renegade. That is at what time are we at? 7:30 p.m. And I've got a bunch of other cool things coming up that also I can't talk about. Like everybody else here, we live the NDA life, but I do disability consulting among other things.
Awesome.
Yeah, Twitter's the best way to keep up on what's happening.
Yep. Cool. All right. And last but not least, I want to give Dan a really big hand for an awesome campaign. You did a great job, Dan. Thank you for putting that all together. He's been laboring over this for the last 2 weeks, and it shows because it was awesome.
Well,
Dan, I know you don't really do a whole lot of social media, but you can.
You can follow me when I show up on Skybound stream because I don't do social media. But yeah, follow all things Skybound Tabletop. Check out Valor Villainy Kickstarter we got live right now. If you like anything in the supplement and enjoy the Valor Villainy, we have another supplement from the original Kickstarter that you can look at on DriveThruRPG. It's pay what you want model, so go check it out.
Awesome. And with that, we will say goodbye and see you next time. Thanks, y'all, for joining us. I appreciate it. I hope to work with all of you talented humans again very soon. Call me. All right. Bye, y'all.